everybody. Things are so weird. My audio setup is a bit different today, so the things that should be automated are not. So I'm having to go through and manually click buttons before you can hear Sid, but you should be able to hear Sid now.
Yeah, that's something I do, is introduce myself into the void.
Sorry about that.
No worries, no worries. Howdy, everybody. It's me again. And today we're going to have a really cool show that we've actually been working on for quite a bit. This PK Scramble will be a shortened tournament of champions with the 4 previous tournament winners. Ashen has done a fantastic job in helping us set up our tech. I've done a little bit of work with the clerical side, but mainly Ephraim helped with a lot of stuff. I did a bunch of seed grinding yesterday, so hopefully the seeds we found work out great and you guys will enjoy it. But that's enough yapping for me. I'm going to kick it over to the commentators, Leslie Pro and JTolmar. Let's start with Leslie Pro. Introduce yourself and let everybody know what you're doing.
Hello, everybody. I'm Leslie Pro. I wear a number of different hats in this community, from run game, randomizers, although we don't talk about last night. And plus I do commentary for all the things.
And Tolmar.
All the things for EarthBound. Tolmar, you good?
Hi, I made this randomizer. I'm happy to be here and explain how it works and have some fun with our champions.
All right. Well, we are so glad to have you all here. And now we are doing a PK Scramble tournament. So first off, in the style of tournaments everywhere, we do have this amazing bracket that you can see is now dominating the screen. This is our bracket. So we're starting with Heat A with Lantro and Brooke. Tell us. I'm going to come back to our actual faces here. Tell us a little bit about the seed that we're going to be seeing here. What flags have we got?
Tolmar.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, you're the one who knows the flags more than I do.
Right. Okay. So we have different flags for every race here. So we're going to be starting out with something that makes a little bit of sense to people who haven't seen PK Scramble before. So that's going to be race percent, which is our default settings for a PK Scramble race. That means that you need to get 4 sanctuaries and then beat Gygus, or 5 sanctuaries and then go beat Magic Ant, or just 6 sanctuaries and then you win. This is a key item randomizer. All of the stuff is shuffled around. We'll explain that as we go. And then in addition to that, we have extended PSI shuffle, which means that not only is all of your PSI shuffled around, but also the Jeff items are shuffled as if they are PSI. So you can end up with PK Fire being in the bazooka slot and he gets a flamethrower, stuff like that. Very fun. A lot of our runners really like that one. And then something our runners like even more, we have Teleport Anywhere, which lets you teleport from anywhere, not to anywhere. So you can teleport out of caves and stuff. And then lastly, we have Generated Food, which makes all the food in the game new random stuff. It does give it new stats too. It's not just renaming it. And there's like some rules you can intuit about what's going to be useful food. The biggest thing is that people have to remember that a Repel sandwich might be named something else, because the Repel sandwich is the most important food in the game. Should we do all the flags at once, or do you want me to wait for the second race?
I think we could talk about the other races later. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so I guess we'll get ready to count in. Does everybody have their names and everything selected, ready for a count-in? Let's see.
Let's swap over to our race feed. Let's see what we've got here.
Let's see.
Someone's got to do the naming.
It looks like Lantro is still waiting to get theirs. All right. Let's see. Looks like I still have some more buttons to press. It's okay. I'm just going to go through and press a whole bunch of buttons so that everybody can hear, at the very least, everybody can hear Sid. I think they should all be able to hear me at this point. I'm not certain. There's a lot going on here. It's fine. I thought I would be able to handle the audio by winging it a little bit less, but no, this don't wing things. Try and plan them in advance. That's better.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the disparate schedules, it's very hard for us to like sit down and do a full dress rehearsal. A lot of them had to be kind of winged. And I hope you guys, once we get into it, I guarantee you'll enjoy it.
Uh-oh, I might have the wrong race up. Let me see. I do, which means that I get to come back to our faces for a quick second, so that I can crop this without the audience watching my shame.
I'm good at backfilling. Don't worry about it.
Let me go ahead and come back in here and recrop because I definitely thought I had the correct thing, and I definitely don't. So that's fun.
This is what happens when you have 4 different gameplay feeds and you're not quite sure which is which.
And also we don't know until the end what some of these races are going to be. Like, I don't know exactly what Ashen's cropping setup is, but for me that would just be like, well, I've got to wing that last one. There's no possible way.
Yeah. Brackets, no matter what, we just have to take whoever's the winner. So got to do a little bit of adjustment, make sure we actually have the right games up there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could have like 4 different setups for the last one.
I'll give you that peek behind the curtain. I have not pre-cropped any of these, so I'm cropping them right before we go live. But I definitely thought I had the right game feed, and I definitely didn't bother to check, and that's definitely coming and biting me now. So that's fun.
Luckily it's 4x3, so it's not terribly cool.
Yeah.
Though life would be so much easier for the 16x9 because it should be
a little bit. Also, I do appreciate that I've decided to go to the camera, the 4 cameras feed, which means that the audience gets to see me staring down the barrel of my monitor as I'm trying to do this. It's fine. Everything's fine here. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah. So, I guess we've been working pretty hard on this, and we started up seed testing on like Tuesday, and one of the seed testers had to drop out pretty quickly. So I ended up picking up the slack. Unfortunately, I'm nowhere near as skilled as any of the community up to this point. I've been playing it kind of casually. It's pretty fun. It was pretty fun to pick up and test all these seeds, though. I'll shout out the testers, and once again, Ephraim for helping corral everybody and get this set up.
So, as a new casual player, how are you enjoying the rando?
I'm enjoying it a lot. Getting forced into doing these like 3 different flag sets that are very disparate from what I was doing before, because I was doing, like high curse, high level, 6 or 8 Sanks. So these are very, very different from what I'm used to playing. For getting like, we can go 1 extra for Magicant for an optional victory, or 2 extra, Sanks for victory. Just kind of like doesn't even occur to me. I'm like, gotta go kill Gigas. And then every time I snap down.
It's good that you were doing curses before. I was actually expecting the final seed, which is a bunch of hard mode flags, to be the one that was going to trip you up.
Yeah, actually, when I noticed the Supporma drops, I was like, I know what's going on here. If there's a curse involved, where's my neutralizer? I better pay attention. The finals flag is actually really well crafted. But we can talk about it a bit more once we actually get to it.
All right. Thank you all for stretching for me. I apologize. But now, we should have the correct games in the correct places. It's fine. It's all fine.
Great. We got both of them?
We're here now.
Yep. All right. I will quickly count everybody in. I'll make sure to throw some numbers in chat just to make sure if they can't hear me for whatever reason. So we'll be going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. I was waiting to see. Yep, they have yepped it. So for anyone who's missed the intro somehow, or managed to come out on a VOD and skip into this part, this is PK Scramble. It's an EarthBound randomizer. It is a key item randomizer. There's a few different randos for this game. 4 of them, in fact, so maybe we can talk about those later. But key item randomizer means that all the key items are shuffled. So when we get up to the meteorite on top, instead of a meteorite piece, it might be the Franklin badge or Tendacrout or who knows what. And in addition to that, as you might have already seen, they went to go talk to Buzz. Some of the major plot NPCs and people doing like psychic stuff in this game have been changed into giving you random teleport checks, or sometimes unlocking random teleports, or sometimes they will let Pooh learn Starstorm instead. In addition to that, all the character join locations are shuffled, so you can expect to see like maybe Paula is going to be in the zombie prison instead of Jeff being down there. Not that that's quite how that works in vanilla, and a lot of other stuff is just smoothed out to work in a rando format. I see Lantra is trying to do a clip behind Liar and having a little bit of trouble there. So this is the most obscure check in the game, so if you want to go check out PK Scramble, this is the one thing that you might not be able to guess from familiarity with EarthBound, which you have to go talk to the Mani Mani statue. That is one of the teleport checks. Yeah. Leslie, have I missed anything already?
This just got interesting because they have teleports to Foresight. More importantly, a teleport to Tucson with a wad of bills. So what that's going to allow is for an immediate route into Threed, albeit an indirect route, and that's a kid check.
Yeah, I'll expect both of them to do that. I also see both of our runners manage to teleport out of Liar's basement. So one of the flags that we have enabled for this is Teleport Anywhere, which is teleporting from any location, including inside. And there is a 1 pixel window where you can teleport Beta out of Liar's basement. It looks like both of our runners have practiced that and know how to do it off the top of their head. And then, as LP was hinting at, it's very common to prioritize the kid checks. Every kid that you add to your party is going to increase your firepower and options. All the kids also are used for some check or another, so they're basically key items in and of themselves. And perhaps the most important is that they are extra inventory slots. Inventory management in EarthBound is a little bit hairy. It's not too bad if you have 2. But if a game goes on for a long time with just nests, then those seeds can actually really be quite painful. You don't want to have to call the Escargot Express. That's a whole ordeal that takes like 30 seconds.
Can confirm that is a time loss that you don't want.
Yeah, it's very handy when you're doing your casual runs, though. PK Scramble is very accessible to first-time players. There's a big checklist on the website, and like I said, other than Mani Mani statue, you can basically guess what everything is if you're familiar with the game. So the wad of bills is needed to go over here. And we're going to be picking up our Threed stuff in a second. What do we have? I have to pull up the flags. I've already forgotten. There's so many flags between 3 different races. Yeah, most of it's going to be stuff we can talk about when we see it. Who's going to be the 3 kid? Mad Cat in chat is asking a very important question. So there are a few different places that you can get one of your party members join. There are more of them than there are party members, so it might not be a party member, but it probably will be a party member.
Now, how did that animated puppet survive getting run over Runway 5 tour bus is what I want to know right now.
Yeah, there's a flag that the game enables that turns off enemy spawns and then disables, and it caused so much headache when smoothing out stuff so that the rando works. It's Jeff! It's not even randomized. Except for the fact where there's a whole different way that works in vanilla. So, yeah, spawns are supposed to be off during that, but I turned off most of the spawns off things in this game, because, you hit a spawns off flag, and then you teleport or something, and you don't hit the spawns back on flag, and then there's no spawns for the rest of the game. It's a whole ordeal. Bionic Slingshot is very good this early. I see that Lantro is teleporting out. So one of the things about PK Scramble that's a little bit different from some other randomizers or actually any other randomizer I can think of, is that when it shuffles everything, the rando is going to... Oh, also, I picked up a slider. Remind me to talk about that. The rando is going to pick a random order that is still possible after shuffling to get through the game, and it's going to go along that path and increase the difficulty of enemies in that order and increase the quality of items in that order. So Bionic Slingshot is a few towns in, so Threed is probably pretty spicy. I see that Brooke has also decided to nope out after visiting the shop there. So they have what they need to go check Boogie Tent. What you need is just Jeff. But both of them decided that okay, you're not going to be able to do Boogie Tent first. This area is kind of a bad neighborhood. Because there's good items there. It must be difficult. Meanwhile, these Yes Men Juniors look very, very easy. So this is possibly the route that the rando went first. And you don't have to follow whatever route the rando decided on. It's just if you go really far off of it, then you're going to have a bad time.
Confirm. Oh, and one of the things that PK Scramble does, just want to touch on this real quick, is that the bosses get shuffled. And, It looks like the arcade was very early in the logic because runners rushed it, but they won't need the item that is at City Hall because it's a police badge and that's Tucson access. We already have the teleport. Now, different story if we had a random start. Aim to own that later because then the police badge opens up as well as the road to Tucson. Yeah, so a little bit of a nuance with the flag set there.
Yeah, we have random start next seed, so that may come up. Looks like we're going to be doing the Apple Kid check. Apple Kid needs a piece of food, so maybe we'll see if the food is something unusual. We have generated food on, so it could be all sorts of different things. I saw a slider. Slider is, of course, just a low-tier American-style food. A couple of noodles. Yeah, so EarthBound has so many different foods. So for generate food, the names are in categories. So there's American food, bakery food, foreign food, weird food, and like prepper and camping person food, because those are the different categories of vendors that have stuff in this game. So then there's just a long list of American food. It goes from fries and a shake and a slider up to like triple burger or whatever, a whole pizza, and then the other categories have other things. And when I say weird food, of course I mean the stuff that they serve in Saturn Valley.
Yeah, weird food, but it's still food. Anyway, we've got ourselves some progress heading into Foreside, as with the signed banana, we're able to do this sanctuary check, which still has a check at the end. That does put some significant value towards doing magic. I do notice a Yoda dispenser as well. That's another kid check, albeit a bit of I'd say one of the longer ones. As long as, say, going through deep darkness, but it's still long in its own way, and you'll see why.
Yeah, generally runners will avoid doing their sanctuaries until the end, because you just need 4 of them to get to Gygas. Or 5 for the other things. I'll get to that in a second. But so you don't need to do that until the end when you need that. But like LP was saying, this one actually has an item behind it. We also have route divergence here. Brooke picked up an item from Boogie Tent, but I did not see what the item was.
That's the jar of fly honey. I know. Is this even randomized?
Not even randomized. Yeah, it's the meme that's in every rando. So win conditions in race percent, at least, are you need 4 sanctuaries and then to go beat Gygas. There's some alternate things, but to do the Gygas route, which is maybe like 60% of the time the fastest option, is you're going to need those 4 sanctuaries. You're going to need to have a way to Saturn Valley. You're going to have Paula, because she has to do the prayer thing, and you're going to need the meteorite piece to repair the phase distorter. So list of things to go beat Gygas. And if you don't have those, don't want to do those, you're afraid of Gygas, keep the shack in there. That's not going to be useful for a bit. Yeah, so if you don't want to do all of those things, you can have 5 sanctuaries, and that'll immediately open up Magicant. Beating the Magicant boss also counts in race percent. And very rarely you can just beat 6 sanctuaries, and then that'll get you just an instant win. But it tends to be that there's just so much stuff to unlock your 6th sanctuary that it is not worth it. Also, the 6th sanctuary boss tends to be pretty hard. Because of that progressive difficulty shuffle that PK Scramble has, it is scaling all the bosses to how deep into the seed it expects you to be. So that 6th sank boss will be scaled further in than Gygas. And even though whatever boss it is probably isn't as nasty of a base as Gygas, it's still going to be top one set in there. Did you see that satellite uplink? Is that what the ooh was?
Uplink, baby.
Yes, I did. That's what that made me was like, ooh, that could be something.
Yeah, so we have extended PSI
something.
shuffle. So extended PSI shuffle is an optional flag. It shuffles all of the kids' PSI, including Jeff items. So we got Starstorm in the bazooka slot. Is a satellite uplink, so Jeff can just forever, for the rest of the game, can spam a weakened Starstorm. Starstorm specifically does not have a reasonable scaled alpha version, so it starts out with what is it, Starstorm Iota, Epsilon, something like that, instead of the one.
Yeah,
I think it's
the
Iota.
extended PSI shuffle. You guys created two two additional versions of Starstorm, which are basically like the alpha and beta, and the alpha, and then alpha got pushed up to sigma. I think is what most people refer to it as, but I
gamma slot. Yeah,
gamma. Okay.
Yeah, and also enemies have a lot of really not. Enemies have a bunch of other funny Greek letters in their attacks too. So one of the things that has to happen for PK Scramble is, because those enemies get scaled to different areas, enemies that use PSI freeze alpha, you can't scale that down. All PSI in this game just does fixed damage. So there is a PSI freeze epsilon and iota, and freeze is so tanky that then it goes down to even lower PSI refrigerate. So lots of funny renamed attacks in this to make it so that you don't just get blown up by something with freeze alpha at the beginning of the game.
I mean, I've gotten stunlocked pretty hard by freeze too. The big problem is that it can freeze you, and if you only have one or two characters and there's a couple of mooks, you're in for a cutscene instead of a fight.
Well, that's a 25% chance. So my advice to anyone is just don't get that unlucky.
Just have you thought about having good luck?
Yeah, it's easy. Why be good when you can be lucky? Yeah, there is some
freeze protection, so you're taking 1 damage per. You're just like, great, this is fun.
There is some places where EarthBound has really random mechanics that I actually very disagree with. But there's a limit to how much I'm going to patch this game, right? People are in this to play EarthBound. I did make it so that Flash Beta, which is what Gygas ends up getting scaled down to in these settings, for one of Gygas's attacks is actually Flash Gamma. So it gets scaled down to Flash Beta, which can 1 in 8 kill you. That's just really unfair. Especially if you're doing a race or something, we don't need to have the thing decided by a 1 in 8 coin flip. So during race percent, those get scaled down to some other random status. But things like freeze unlocking you, it's there's going to be luck in this game. It's a very swingy RPG. I'm just going to have to deal with that sometimes.
So we've had some devices that by rescuing Pooh, we now know that Pooh has key to the cabin. If we get Happy Village access, that's another kid check. Now, it's a 1 in 3 chance of being Paula, with the other 2 checks being Dalam's throne room and the back darkness. And one of those is much worse than the other 2.
I blinked and missed it. Where was Pooh?
Pooh was up on the 48th floor of Monotoli building.
Oh my goodness, I was so busy rambling about this game I didn't realize the implications of being in Monotoli. Yeah, so that's one of the shuffled locations. So normally you can get Paula up there in Vanilla, but of course you can get Paula in Happy Village as well. So like I mentioned earlier, we do have some filler kids as well. Due to the way that the shuffling logic works, they tend to only show up in 5 cent or higher seeds. So it's unlikely we're going to get something other than a kid, but we might. It is a randomizer. And I also see that Brooke has a meme phone call. So at some point in the seed, and I've never revealed what the actual trigger for this is, you will get a phone call from Tony asking, what is the dumbest meme you know? Sometimes people put actually dumb memes in there. Sometimes they put nice messages. But we have made it kind of a policy as a community to make fun of anyone who just puts a there. You have to put something in the box.
Oh, I did not realize that was a policy. I started putting... Go ahead, Leslie. Don't worry about it.
Yes, it is officially, you are allowed to do it, but like, I will make fun of you, chat will make fun of you. Yeah.
We got a Glorp Nation. I'm just waiting for somebody to do the classic butts, but that is known for basically the glitchless speedrun meme.
Yeah, I haven't, I don't think anyone here is a huge fan of that. Gurk might, Chargles might. So yeah, I think the people most likely to do that are in our second race.
Now, Chargles is also likely to go for 6 Sanctuary, folks. He sort of made that a bit of his own meme.
Yeah.
I did that once in a weekly, and it was fun. I can get why you would do that. But, can't always do it. Can't always justify it for the time.
It was the fastest strat in Attorney once. But we were all very excited that it happened, because it is pretty rare.
Right. That was fun.
Is actually a good idea.
That was fun.
Alright. So, Magic Cake leaves teleport to 3, which is useless. Yeah, so you can get teleports both from these checks and just walking places. So sometimes you've already went somewhere, and the random just gives you something completely useless that you already have.
So we are having some pretty cool peeks on like treasure boxes here. You want to go over how they kind of match their contents for a newer player that may not be familiar?
Oh yeah. So the gift boxes, by default, there's a flag that says use appropriate item boxes. So what that means is that the chests that you would normally see in Dalam are going to be used for any sort of gear and equipment, any sort of combat items. So that's bombs, bottle rockets, Jeff gear is going to be in a locker, which is a custom sprite that I drew. Food is going to be in a takeout box, also a custom sprite. Money is going to be in a little money box, not a custom sprite. That's an unused sprite from the base game. Capsules are going to be in a little tiny box, which you might think is custom, but it's actually just the present box that's used in Lost Underworld. And then anything that was missed by all of those is going to be a present. So that's going to be teddy bears, and also garbage. Garbage isn't garbage. The PK Scramble has a whole category of items that it considers garbage, which it will occasionally add to your item pool. And those get put in garbage cans. The best garbage item is the broken spray can, or maybe the chicken. And then the rest of them are really, really useless. So, yeah, I put chicken in the garbage pool because I thought it was funny. But they only show up late in the seed, too. That is considered high-tier garbage. So, as I mentioned, the items are placed according to whatever route the thing is. Even useless items are also along whatever path that route is.
That's interesting to hear that that's a custom
Maybe just a
sprite.
key point in the seed is we have found Paula, but Brooke does not have Pooh, so by the time Lantro gets there, Lantro is just going to be able to jailbreak Paula.
Yeah, that'll be a nice little efficiency for Launcher to pick up. One of the things that Rando adds is a teleport to Happy Happy Village, which you might not have even noticed is not in the vanilla game. It's one of the things the runners were like, you need to add this, you need to add this, please add this for a very long time. So I finally broke down and did add a teleport to Happy Happy Village, so you don't have to walk all the way back when this happens.
Oh yeah, the additional teleports are so nice. I didn't even didn't click into my head, and then I was like, wait a minute, this is actually so cool.
One of the things that's kind of funny is Dusty Dune's teleport is in vanilla, but it's never enabled. But for some reason, I thought that was in vanilla, because when I was a kid playing like they're repeatedly renting the version of this from Blockbuster. Somehow somebody had a save that had that, probably like in Game Genie or something had enabled that. So I was like, oh yeah, Dusty Dunes is just in the list. It's at the bottom of the list. That's normal. Like I didn't realize that doesn't normally happen until well after releasing this rando.
Oh yeah, also the chests that can contain weapons can also contain revival items such as cups of life noodles, which is always a fantastic find because that's a use of healing Omega that any party member can use their inventory.
Yeah, very useful items. You'll see that Lantra just went into the big room of Happy Happy Village and dipped. You need the a Franklin badge to actually do that check, but because you need the Franklin badge to actually do that check, that area is scaled after Franklin badge. So if you don't have it, it might be much later in the seed. You can sometimes get some really good items there. So popular to go check that. You'll also notice that our runners are checking the food boxes, even though they know that that box is food, and they're just going to drop most of the food that they see. One kind of food in specific, the Repel sandwich, or whatever it has been replaced with generated food today, is very important. Actually, one of the funny things that happened when I introduced those appropriate item boxes and the takeout boxes is all the runners stopped picking up food, and then they're like, did you make Repel sandwiches like really rare? I can't find any anymore. So never open up the food boxes. You're never going to find them. Yeah, so a Repel sandwich is...
unfortunately for Brooke, I just have to interject real quick because unfortunately Brooke ran into one of the more notorious bosses you can run into in any form of randomizer that is through the EarthBound community in Carbon Dog. And yeah, the game decided to let the dog out, and Brooke paid the price.
Yeah, and it's still Carbon Diamond, so once you kill Carbon, it will switch to Diamond, which is the main reason that it's so much of a struggle.
Yeah, and there's no special logic on that one to make it like extra easy. It's just a whole boss fight. Also, because I was talking about Repel sandwiches, that is not a vanilla item. You might notice that everyone's moving a little faster than a vanilla. Skip sandwich seed is enabled by default. You can have a run button, or you can make it so that you have a walk button and you run by default. So instead, we don't need a skip sandwich. I replaced them with Repel sandwiches, which work like repels in Pokemon, or whatever game has repels that you can think of. They just turn off spawns for a little bit. They are a big part of the meta for certain end-game dungeons, particularly Cave of the Past, because the enemies there are horrible and this game has too many spawns. So you end up picking those up and trying to bank a few of those for the final dungeon. Yeah, dog is something. For the first several versions of PK Scramble, it was actually Ness's Nightmare was really, really bad. It just turns out it is an endgame boss with bad attacks, but also lots of things just needed to be scaled uniquely or separately for that. That was really like the early game run killer for a long time.
So, speaking of the dog, since some people may not remember, assuming we've got some casuals watching too. Carbon Diamond. Carbon itself isn't very deadly. The problem is when it transforms into Diamond, it gets a physical reflection for 3 hits, and then I think can recast it. So you really need to have PSI to get through Diamond Dog without getting absolutely mollywopped by hitting yourself to death. So that's part of the reason why you want to go in there with like the Citrine Crystal, which is also a use item that allows you to have access to Starstorm, like the satellite uplink. The big reason that uplink is better is it's reusable, but having access to bomb is also super nice because it does a fair amount of damage. It's not a vanilla spell; it's more or less like the bomb in the game scale, and it also hits the enemies right next to the one that you're hitting with it. So, bomb and rocket are extremely powerful.
And good job to our seed vetters. We have both bomb and rocket as our PSIs. So PSI Rocket Alpha is a bottle rocket as a PSI. Bomb Alpha is a bomb as a PSI. And then the gamma versions of those, that's the third one up, are going to be a big bottle rocket and a super bomb. In between, it's just some in-between stats that I added to the game. And then the Omega version, it is multi-bottle rocket. You never end up actually getting to use PSI Rocket Omega, but it is very fun when you get it. It does just blow things up.
Oh yeah.
Well,
and,
now.
yeah.
Never
It
happens
also
in a
uses
race.
way too much. Oh, nervous field. That is a good
Yeah,
item.
50. It's pretty
Speaking of
expensive.
good finds, Trillion Age Sprout Dread wound up having our meteor piece. So if you're going the 4 and Gygus route, you gotta go to Berglund Park.
Mm. So after you beat the Berglund Park boss, there's a couple of items that are unlocked there. I made it behind the Berglund Park boss so that they wouldn't be scaled the same as the Tucson department store. And there was some really good stuff on Launcher's screen there. I don't think he's actually going to go back and get it, but the Nerve Ray and Nervous Field are Jeff items that do paralysis. And when you don't have to play the PP cost of that spell becomes really, really good. So that's like one of the better items in the game.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a really
Especially because there's a strap that we use sometimes in Ancient Cave Rando
Mhm.
that serves a purpose as that.
There's a really good like beginner friendly strat. Once you get to Happy, there's actually the vendor will attack you if you don't pay for your goods. But in vanilla, it always has brain food lunch. This one I noticed it has brain food brekkie, which is a simpler one. You can stock up on those, forfeit immediately, and then you get to walk away with all of those brain food healing items. They'll give you a nice chunk of healing in about, I think it's like 40 psi max. So you can just dump your entire inventory and then just be able to, all right, well, I'm just going to spam PSI till the cows come home. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
It does take a while, but it can give you a lot of free money or a lot of free PSI shots.
Yeah, Pebble and Chat's mentioning even the top runners frequently stock up on brain food there. So mechanically, the way that works is the shop is set to contain at least one item that I have marked as a cool food item, which is the brain food. I think water is in there. I don't remember. Repels are in there, but they're usually not allowed in shops. Pizza or large pizza is in there. Maybe some other things. So generally, brain food is actually like the lowest tier one of those. So typically you'll see that. But if you actually have like a 8 sank seed and you get there last, it might be free large pizzas, which is like an absolutely wild thing to be able to pick up. And then here on generated food, we might have like low tier versions of large pizzas and stuff like that. So sometimes that'll be what you see there. Also, if you're using Shop Sanity, which I don't think is in our docket today, that allows any shop to have any kind of thing. You can have just like gear there that you can go steal for free and fight the shopkeeper.
Yeah, you can amass money really quick with a Shop Sanity seed on that guy. Whenever me and I usually play with Sonny Rath privately, and we're like, all right, we got access to Happy. We can buy whatever we want.
Yeah, money is usually not very tight in Scramble anyway, but you have to actually go to the ATM and stuff, which is an extra time.
Yeah. The big one for like a newer person is like learning what each item does. Like the great charms are really good because of the +5 speed.
Oh yeah, there's also it comes up less often in the current like version of Scramble's items, but there's a bunch of items that people like throw in the ground because they think are useless, like the handbag strap and mummy wrap, actually incredibly powerful items.
But even like a guaranteed freeze or paralyze for
yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah, in Ancient Cave, those are like a big thing because you just spam those against hard bosses and stun lock them. There's some really good items that people or like the Hand Aid is a full heal, very good item. But people remember, well, this is like a special item you only get once. It's too good to use, and then you forget that it was too good to use. Just remember that you didn't use it. Must be useless. Throw it on the ground.
I mean, you might as well because it's only worth like $9. So you
yeah. So we're going into Mole Cave on launch on screen. You might notice if you're like a super nerd who knows everything about this game that this is not actually what Mole Cave is supposed to look like. There are 2 dungeons in the game that you can enable abridged dungeons on, which is on by default in race percent. It shortens these quite a bit. Mole Cave is it makes all of the like paths. So Mole Cave is like a kind of a star shape for most of it. Makes all of those little branches a little shorter, and it removes the right-hand side entirely and just puts that mole, or in this case, Belch, into the tunnel where one of the underground ones is. So it's much, much faster to go through there. It's about 60% as big as Mole Cave.
Yeah, I turned it off once, and Sonny was like, "What is going on here?" And I was like, "Oh, oops, I forbore."
Now we just hit 30 minutes in, so I'd like to take a moment. First off, we didn't shout it out before, but you see on the tracker, we do want to thank Derek GNC, who's running the trackers for us and making sure that that y'all at home can see how things are going. But 30 minutes in, I'd love to hear. How are things feeling? It is a race. Do we feel like somebody's ahead yet or not? That's always tricky in randomizers because things can swing so much. But how is it feeling as a race right now?
Honestly, when I'm commentating, I have no idea what's going on. I'm gonna trust Chargles in chat, who says that Lantra's a few minutes ahead. Black Sesame Seed in chat is one of our runners. Very good at this game. Should probably know.
It gets a little bit hard to like determine that too, because it depends on what's coming up around the corner. Sometimes you're like, oh well, that's a waste. Because like Mines is a really good EXP farm, but it seems to be going into Monkey Invitation this time, so we'll have to spend a little bit of time buying some items and then trading them for our next key item. So we have to get a key item to get a key item.
I liked the little maneuver that Lantra just did. There's exit mice in this dungeon, and you can pick up 2 exit mice in PK Scramble. That's just a nice little convenience patch. But Lantra only picked up 1 because you can exit whenever you want using teleport anywhere. But you still want 1 for exactly this dungeon because the teleport location is nowhere near where you want to be after you finish this one. You want to go to the exit and pick up the item.
I mean, in this instance, you'd want 2, right? 1 for the mines and then 1 for the Monkey Invitation, I think.
You can just teleport out.
Is there really a space you can teleport out in Monkey Mines? Neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's enough space in town room to where you can do a teleport beta.
Ah, yeah. There's been
Also,
a lot of
Monkey
really
Cave
high
is-
tier teleport.
Yeah. Monkey Cave is actually pretty quick to exit, too. I don't know. It probably is faster to use the mouse, especially if it's right there. But it's actually a pretty short dungeon.
So
There's
like
some tanky
B
ducks.
usually, with the B teleport, you usually run around in a circle, but it's actually slower than Alpha apparently.
Yeah.
Alpha, you have to run in a straight line. Go ahead. You will explain this better than I will.
Alpha is 4 seconds and beta is 8 seconds.
Oh.
So every time you use an alpha instead of a beta, you save 4 seconds. If you're getting into the rando, I highly recommend just in the cities, just try using alpha down the street. Usually works. You'll learn which ones it doesn't work in pretty quickly. And then if you keep playing and you want to do like competitive, like learn the easy alphas. Like Winters has an easy setup. There's a really funny one in Happy Happy Village. There's a bunch of just easy setups for it. Also, we see Lantra using alpha, teleport alpha right there to skip a photo man trigger. Most of the photo mans have been removed from the game, but that one stuck around. You see Lantra just used teleport alpha and spun around in the circle. That is faster. It saves 4 seconds. If you want to get into this rando, you don't need to do that. It saves 4 seconds, right? Like that's low down on the list of things to learn. Not like going completely loot monster or getting spaghettied on the menus and that sort of thing is much more important. But eventually you do want to save that 4 seconds. Lantra is a champion, of course. Ooh, frozen banana.
It really only ends up biting you in the butt if you like pick the wrong teleport over and over again. That's the one that really is getting you so like making sure you're taking the right teleport. The big thing is go ahead.
I think Lantra's getting a little confused here. So we're going into Monkey Cave. This NPC always sells the Monkey Cave items. I tried changing it once, and I had to roll it back within a month because all of the players were just up in arms. But it's generate food, so it's not the normal items. It's a bunch of random stuff. They are the correct ones. It's just a little harder to recognize that.
I think they're all in the same position, so as long as you know which positions in the menu, you can just buy the correct ones every time.
You also buy one of each. Also, hello to the monkey bouncer. One of the handful of... I forgot that the king banana was an item when I was planning this out. If I remembered, there wouldn't be a monkey bouncer or a monkey invitation. But, well, now there's a cute monkey in a suit.
I don't know if Lantra has done the monkeys anytime recently. It's a bit weird going down the left side there.
Yeah, I mean, it gets
we're just opening every door I see. Well, actually, no, that's right. That's right for this one. I'm being stupid. Ignore me.
It's the minimum item route to use that door, but you can go faster if you just have exactly the right items. Yeah, I can go for a frozen banana. Maybe we have a break. I'm gonna go
Who puts frozen banana on a pizza? That's
just frozen pizza.
Pineapple on pizza, but that one just seems like a different level.
I would put banana on a pizza, but frozen banana just seems like a very strange choice on a warm pizza.
I mean, yeah, I guess you'd have to put the frozen banana on top of the pizza. Oh man, this is in my head.
I mean, people make dessert pizzas, right, where it's basically a cookie. So like I could see that, but yeah,
true.
Cookie pizza.
Good. One of the other important things with like Jeff is making sure that you keep the equipment that you're spamming either in the left slot or like at the very left top if you can. And that satellite uplink has found its way into that top slot, so it's going to be really quick to pull it out, fire it off.
Inventory management is an important part of this. It looks like Lantra does not know the teleport out and should have picked up those 2 mice like you were saying.
But what he picked up is probably the most important piece of the puzzle at this juncture, because that's the zombie paper that's access to Saturn Valley. And the jar of fly honey gives you another sanctuary by way of clearing belch space.
It looks like the monkey teleport was also Saturn Valley teleport, so one of those items is useless. You only need one of those. But yeah, you definitely need the monkey here.
I mean, it is nice that there's at least a teleport and a key item down there, so you don't... It's nice when you get 2 useful things, but at least you're like, well...
Yeah, it's nice that some of the longer dungeons in this game ended up having that too. So it's Pyramid, Monotoli, and this all have a double item check. So kind of balances it out. Ends up happening naturally. Unlike Stonehenge Base, where it's in the middle of nowhere and just for 1 item.
The really important one is like sometimes you can progress through key items like water bills, diamond, jar of fly honey, zombie paper, but sometimes you don't have to huff it. You can find the teleport, so you really got to figure out what play you want to make. Do you want to invest in the teleports or say, nope, I'm going to have to walk there anyway and hard commit? That's another like big routing divergence.
Since the teleports and items and kids are all separate slots in this rando too, once you learn that, you can start like, oh, I need a teleport. Like a teleport's the only thing that's going to give me another sanctuary access, so I'm going to prioritize teleports. Or you can say, no, actually, there are no more teleports that are useful to me. I'm just going to stop doing them. And that kind of thing can help with your later game routing.
It's a super cool like portion or factor of like the randomize that you have to learn. Because one of the other cool things is shuffled in with the teleports is there's also the Starstorm for Pooh, Alpha and Omega. So sometimes it is worth poking your head into those teleports if they're not too far out of the way and seeing if maybe you can spike Starstorm Alpha, because 24 PP for a move that's that strong, the only time it really bites you in the butt is like Gigas. Anywhere else, you can just spam it all day.
And since we have extended PSI shuffle, the Starstorm will be replaced with something, but it'll be the gamma level of something, so it's still very useful. I also saw that one of the enemies on Lantra's side dropped some haggis. And Lantra dropped it for some reason.
Hey, we're about to see that out question. teleport this time on Brooke side.
Very nice.
Wow, I really would not have thought that you could do it there.
Some of the longtime runners have found some really silly setups for things like that. There's a bunch of like Scramble specific skips, and then some Scramble stuff that ended up working its way back into the vanilla speedrun. Since you have skip sandwich speed all the time in Scramble, our runners have kind of found there's some kind of funny things you can do to green swirl enemies. So a kid in the back slot can run into an enemy from behind, and it's whichever kid touches the enemy that determines the swirl, not Ness. So you can have something that looks like you got hit from behind, but you're actually getting a green swirl. And all of the Scramble runners have gotten really good at that, and then that has come back into the vanilla speedrun, and that is going a little bit faster thanks to all these runners.
I wish it was good enough to do that intentionally, but when it happens, man...
You get it eventually.
Yeah. Bag of Dragonite, yeah, that's a really interesting one. That's a huge enemy-wide DPS. The only interesting part about it is you'd think it would be fire, but it's actually physical-based. So sometimes that can get reflected, so you have to be careful during a curse, seed, or on anything that always has a physical reflection.
I think it's actually also fire. I'm pretty sure
both?
Dragonite is... Oh. Yeah, it's 800 damage, PSI fires, codes, physical flag.
Interesting.
This game's combat system is a rat's nest of weird little exceptions.
Little quirks. What a quirky game.
I was trying to learn, so like I really like figuring out the combat stuff in this game. It's one of my favorite subsystems of the game's code. But I was trying to learn the different like renamed versions of bash and shoot and how they work, and which ones have like guard works on them and PSI reflection works on them, and I just ran out of room in my brain. I was like, oh, there's too many weird things of that. Can't possibly learn all of that. We got a Belch base. Are they just like completely neck and neck, or just happen to be in the same spot?
I think the teleport pulled them back. That walk out of that cave is really long. It's all the I know with a lot of randomizers, the big thing isn't even the rooms, it's the room transitions that end up eating a lot of time.
Oh yeah, I actually sped up the room transition for PK Scramble a lot. There was like, it spends a lot of time doing like bad math on palettes, which Catador, one of the members of PK Hack, our modding community, found a way to fix. And then even more impactful, I just went in, and when it does the door fade out, I just doubled the speed of that. Turns out it spends a lot of time fading. But also, Brooke's chat saying that Brooke skipped Summers, which is probably the bigger part of how she caught up.
Another note, Pooh has PSI Shield Sigma, so that's a way for, that's another way you can, oh, what am I saying? PSI Shuffle. Can switch up your shields between the characters.
It means that Starman Jr. can actually be approached the vanilla way of just being completely destroyed by a shield. One of the kind of funny things that happens when you're playing Scramble is you see Starman Jr. for the first time, and you're like, oh, this is a pushover boss. And Starman Jr. is actually like one of the harder bosses in the game, because normally you just have Buzz do the fight for you. But Jr. has, for some reason, really high elemental resistances and a ton of HP and pretty strong attacks. And really the only weakness for that
200
boss.
HP. Yeah, Vanilla is 200 HP, just short of 1,000 psychic points. Yeah, let's not go over well. Just ask anybody who's played Ancient Cave and has had that boss as their floor 1 boss.
Yeah, Ancient Cave is mean about where it'll put that boss. Ancient Cave is definitely
in for a bad time here, though. We got mushroomized, so movement's going to start getting randomized. And Ness is just going to randomly swing at his own party, so he's a liability in combat. Go ahead.
So, kind of a funny thing is because you have skip sandwich speed all the time, the mushroomization doesn't actually matter too much in the overworld. You get to go really far before it actually like kicks in because it's on like an actual
I have
timer.
noticed that, yeah.
And then the chance of feeling strange when you have a mushroom is only 25% instead of the 50% for an actual feeling strange status effect. So it's also like, yeah, it's not as bad as it seems.
I guess as long as you stick to single targeting, it can't bite you too hard. Fair.
Yeah, I mean, it can always bite you. It's just like, it's fine. The odds are in your favor.
There's been plenty of times of just like rocking my entire party and go, well, I'll just hit the forfeit button because I already did it a second ago.
I think Brooke is pulled into the lead.
Oh, that's unfortunate too.
Or has more checks to do that we didn't notice. Who knows?
Lantro's also got a paralyzed Jeff, so Jeff is just a brick right now.
Yeah, Jeff is not the one that you want to have teleport or paralyzed.
Paralyzed, yeah.
Looks like Brooke decided to go talk to the extra Saturn that when you beat Belch Base, a Saturn goes in there and gives you 3 items. Sometimes they're good. Also, when you get your 4th Sanctuary, there's an extra shop in the Saturn Valley shop that has endgame items. Looks like Brooke did not pick that one up and is just going? Nope, it's not going yet.
Wants to see Winters. Bonk! Not so fast.
The
Yeah,
funny
looks
thing
like
is,
this is a 5-sank play, or?
I don't know. We'll see. Oh, and we get a bonk on Lontro's too.
Yeah, they both bonked.
I mean,
Yeah, so it looks like everyone in chat, you're going to have to get your Tessie emotes ready. It's very important. I'm ready for Tessie.
I only ever really
launch
found Gigas to be reasonable in the Flag A set, actually, because the rockets and bombs and stuff, simplifying the Guardian quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by it too. This is not the fastest 5-sank. Do they have the pencil eraser?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a little bit
They would have
better.
needed a racer to get Monkey Invitate to go through the Monkey Cave anyway. So, yeah, they definitely have that.
Yeah, good point. Pencil eraser does make this a little bit faster. Otherwise, you have to go through Brick Road Dungeon. But yeah, there's a whole cutscene, and then like one of the fastest sanctuaries in the game after that. So probably fine.
It's really interesting to see how minimal on gear and like just checking chests in general. I guess the early game stuff is pretty useless unless you're having like a adding 8% chance to ignore seed depth.
Yeah, so generally you need a early game weapon. The game, like you just need an item for Nest to bash with, and then you kind of need something in the mid game. But whatever chests are on your way is probably enough. And then if you're going for Gygas, you need specifically Gygas prep items, which you can either like know the depth that those are at, or hope that they're in the last Saturn shop. So those are the ones you do, but neither of them are going for Gygas, and you don't really like whatever other boss is going to be in Magicant is going to be less of a gear check than Gygas is, so I can see skipping it. Also, some of the runners do get more.
Depending on what it is, it could also be significantly easier too. Like if it winds up being Frank Mark II, where it's a scripted fight, then you can just plan around that. Now, we already had the other boss fight early in this seed in Car Painter, so that's not going to be a thing.
One of our other top runners, mcmcgurk, who will be in our next race, actually gets much more gear than this, though. So, like, it's definitely like it is not set in stone that you need to go on the super low gear go route. There are runners doing both.
Yeah, the roll on getting some good gear can very much like push the needle on a lot of these fights where you're struggling to get through them. And you can just
and also like these runners are probably going to beat most of their fights most of the time, even under geared. But it does take longer if you don't have good offensive weapons. So like picking up that extra bat or frying pan or whatever can let you just do the fight faster as well.
Big lead back is a good pickup from Bean. Yep, that's another good pickup there.
That's a bat from the meme. All right, so we're rapidly approaching our 5th sanctuary. There's also a key item down there. We could go for a 6th one. I don't know if there's any like easily accessible chances at a 6th sank, but it'd be funny if someone pulled it off. And Paul is down for Brooke. That'll make this boss a little bit trickier. There's a free heal very nearby, but are you going to do it? Oh, that is... Huh. All of the kid sprites were dead on Brooke's side for a second. Yeah. We actually just found out that there's some serious bugs with green swirls in the Jeff section in this cave. Some of the runners have kind of known about it for a while. Yeah, some of the runners have known about it for a while. Brooke in particular has apparently been green swirling those enemies using silly logic. But it is really far off from what you think it should be when it's just Jeff there.
Yeah, there's a reason we call them jank green swirls in the vanilla game.
Yeah. Check the mouse, Brooke. Check the mouse.
Because they really are jank.
Oh, she didn't check the mouse. I don't know if there's any item that it could be, but it's like a carrot key. I don't think they even have Dalam. If it's something, it would be really funny.
Honestly, it could have been worth talking to the caveman, because we have gen items on, or gen food items, so we may have actually sold something decent.
Yeah, but it would still be food. That's a food shop, so...
Yeah, that caveman is usually really useful in a stop sanity.
Looks like both of our runners are going to be getting a world record boogie percent, and didn't expect that to happen.
Boogie. Kind of rough here too, because we have to spam fire, and I believe Boogie Tent is usually resistant to fire.
Resistant to freeze. Fire is fine, but fire just does less damage than freeze by quite a lot. Something I actually see a lot of runners do is so there's like a big chart in the tracker has a big chart of all of the resistances, but freeze is better than fire by so much that even when it says they're little fire resistant, freeze is stronger for like just a little bit of fire resistance, not full fire resistance or freeze resistance.
I mean, worst case, you get the freeze, right?
Yeah. Wow, this is... Oh yeah, also the stun is nice. This is real close. Like... Brooke slowed down to check a menu and lost from that. What? Are you picking up this item?
Repel sandwich we're looking for?
Oh my goodness.
Repel burger.
Repel,
it's a repel.
repel senses were tingling, apparently. So I'm going to assume that... Yeah, that probably is going to make a difference, because I haven't seen too many repels. Lantro is going in here without using any. I think it takes 3 repels to get this entire thing, but we don't actually know how strong a repel burger is. Nobody's checked. If you check the item section,
typically a repel sandwich and a repel sandwich deluxe without gen items, but since we don't know the effects, jury's out. Oh, yeah. Lovely, a loaded. This enemy's annoying. It calls for help.
Gurk is saying that Brooke did check and it's 20 seconds, so yeah, 2 is enough. So yeah, Brooke's going to pull ahead here from not having these enemies. A loaded dice is a terrible enemy.
Yeah.
Electro swoosh is bad. Uncontrollable sphere is bad because they explode. This is just a bad scenario all around.
Lantra is exploding right now. Oh, you've got... This is... Oof.
Wow.
I've experienced this. Oh, I hope we got some cups.
Oh boy!
Hey,
there's one.
A timely cup of life noodles. Wow! Bailed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see any repels on
Build
that side,
out! Wow!
Oh, it is
that would be
Pokey.
such a disaster.
Oh, it's Porky!
Oh, this
Yeah.
this
This is
is
a fun fight.
pretty rude this late because he has some offense down, which luckily we have enough PSI to get through it. But the one that really stinks is the tornado if he's got it, which I believe he would have set.
Tornado is just a symptom of curses. We don't have that.
Okay.
But that nervous field is going to... They both pick one up. So this boss is really nothing if you manage to paralyze him. I'm actually kind of surprised that Brooke's not just bashing it out.
Yeah, auto battle is very. It can be extremely effective in speeding things up. You would think sometimes, well, PSI hits much harder. I learned the hard way that just going auto battle and hold Y to mash through the text is a much preferable strat.
Pebble in chat saying that apparently damage was too low to get through quickly there, so good to know. Yeah, so in terms of turns, PSI is always going to be faster, but the turns are so fast with auto battle that sometimes it is faster in terms of real time.
Oh yeah, Ness is out
thank you,
here
guy.
for one. Very correct. Her damage is poopy.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. It looks like this is going to be Brooke, unless she somehow manages to stop before the U1 screen.
So the time for this will actually be on the U1, just so you know.
Right there.
There we go.
She's in chat for Brooke.
Yeah, good job.
And these
Good
clanky
job.
robots are a pretty rude Kraken spawn, too. That's one of the last things you want to fight.
Oh, at least it's small.
Yeah, I guess it's easier to dodge. But if you don't dodge it, you're not having a fun time.
Yeah, because that fight is just me. Especially at this point, because its missile is powered up at this point. And
So,
Oh, that's...
Rocket is a speed check
Yeah.
against it, I believe.
Yeah, so Ness is the slowest party member, and Heavily Armed Pokey is like one of the fastest bosses, behind only Clumsy Robot. So, yeah, Rocket just doesn't really work very well on it, which is kind of funny because in vanilla, of course, you use multi-bottle rockets to blow them up at the end of the speed run. But that is a multi-bottle rocket. Jeff is the fastest member. You usually put a rabbit's foot on him or something too. So, yeah, actually, bottle rockets don't work very well on him. Nothing stops bomb though. There's just like literally no like stats involved. It just does that much damage. Oop. And the launcher is through.
Yeah, normal. A was one of those seeds that took a while to find a good one, because Rocket can just heavily break things if you can just spam beta. So it hits fairly hard.
Although that didn't send us to two of the worst bosses in the game. Well, actually, one of the worst bosses in Shroom. Because Shroom's script first attack is always Spores Confusion.
Yeah.
Nah, you don't want to deal with that.
Shroom actually almost made the there's a little list of bosses that aren't allowed in certain slots because it's horrible. And Shroom almost made the list, but I decided that I can be meaner.
So, Ashen, do you want to bring in the runners for a little bit so we can chat real quick before we move over?
Looked like Thunder and Storm was the helper.
Yeah, let me press a few buttons here. Let's go ahead and get... No, I have so many buttons to press. I can do it. It was just going to take me a second. We're going to go ahead and ask Brooke and ask Montron to join us in the main room here. Okay, you should both be live now. Tell us how things are going, or how do you think things went? How did you feel things went?
I didn't know what to do in Monkey Cave, to be honest. I've never done that with Gen.
Yeah.
I just buy everything when it's Gen food.
I did the same thing. Yeah, it's just
So-
like I gotta cover all bases. But I
I've
went to
done Monkey
Summers
Cave
really
and
early,
Oz.
and it ended up being a complete scam, and that sucked. But
Yeah, I was completely avoiding Summers because I hate watching the cutscene.
Like, if it would have been
The
worth it if it was Happy Happy or Saturn for sure, but it just was Threed. What can you do?
So
Nice.
I think Monkey Cave is bottom for ruler, and then it's the expensive one for luck sandwich.
Yeah, Jesus, it was a close one.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like,
Yeah, thanks for giving us such a close race, you
I
two.
had no repels for Magicant.
Brooke, like,
You know what I
somehow
did?
psychically knew that there was going to be a repel in the box in the room in Pond Cave, like, on the other side from the boss, and just, like, cleared the box, was like, no, I have to go get that repel that I somehow knew about.
No, I'm never checking that, even if it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brooke,
I
how
think
did you
that was
figure that out?
What?
The repel there is like...
It's a food box.
Oh, you
It's
did
a
not.
repel.
But it's so far out of the way.
That's so funny. It
It's-
definitely paid
did you
off.
take the gamble because it's pretty late in the seed, so you figured it'd be a better drop?
That's part
Or
of
just-
it, yeah.
Or just needed more repels still. Well,
Yeah,
it definitely
I mean,
paid off.
You can make do with one. I can't remember where the first one was.
Anything to not get dice. Like
I
on
believe
triple.
you picked one up from Paula's mom. A check that I
Yeah.
admittedly miss when I play this rando.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah,
That is
that's
another.
that one's got a really
Yeah.
high chance of being a repel.
Well, that's right. The hand aid thing. I always forget that that's even a.
I think Brooke's the only one who ever checks that. I forget that's an item, and I put it there.
I totally forgot.
It's good. It's a good check.
I mean,
It
that's
is a good
fair.
check. I think I've seen you do the what is it, insignificant item check too, though, which is like that is
That one's. I'm not sure that's worth it, but it is funny.
yeah.
It does
I
have
agree on both
a
counts.
good chance of being a repel. It's like the same pool as the other stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely put a really good pool in there, but it's really out of the way.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the bracket here. It's changed so much. We've moved a name down to the finalists. We'll have Brooke in the finals there. All right. And I think we're going to go ahead and send you all to our break screen, listen to this wonderful music that I found on OC Remix as we get everything set up for the next race. All right, so let's see you all back here in a little bit.
I'm back again. You couldn't get rid of me that easily, huh?
Would
So
you want to?
I
I don't
know, I'm
want
sure
to.
Some people would.
You do so much of the work here. Also, my nameplates for some reason broke, and you're Charles right now, so give me a second to look at that.
That's okay.
And man, you can call me whatever you want as long as you don't call me late to dinner.
Ooh, bad joke.
Dad joke, sorry.
Good joke.
So, if you guys are just joining, we just got done having a really good flag. We've divided this into flags at A, B, and C. We actually have different flags for each one of these races. But if you did miss the first race, when we upload this to YouTube, I highly recommend checking it out. It was a very close race. It's really good.
That's a very good race.
But for this one, I think we have Rando Start, Return Mice, and Gen Enemies are the unique things that we've added.
That's
do we want to
correct.
go over those now, or should we start the race up
Sure.
first?
I mean, we could start the race. I'm going to end up talking about it during the race either way.
That's kind of what I was thinking anyway. So I guess you said you wanted to count the minute this time, Ashen?
Sure, yeah. Let's go ahead and swap ourselves on over to that. We're ready in the race menu. I should actually have audio coming from one of the games, maybe. Let's do that. Okay, great. It's fine. All right. Racers ready? If we can get a thumbs up on your webcam. Oh, head nod works as well. See y'all. Okay, great. Let's go.
Great thumbs up, Kirk.
Let's go in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So the first thing we're going to see is that this is a random start. Normally you start in Ness's house in on it, and here we're going to start in a weird spot in Dalam. So
Get a kid
Dalam
check
starts
right
really nice.
away.
Yeah.
Free
You can both
character.
walking.
Ooh,
Love this fast with a
skinny.
walker teleporter. Yeah, so free character. We've got race present, generated enemies, random start, return mice. So the random start is they start in a random spot, as you've already figured out. They also start with 2 teleports unlocked from the get-go. So they have 3 choices of where to go, and with Pooh and Dalam, they're going to be able to pick up another one because there's a teleport check there. Yeah, so we're going to have those, and then the other thing that changes is the logic in on it. It makes it so that the northern police barricades are up there until you do the police badge check, and that's just to make it so that on it doesn't have 5 checks as soon as you open it up. Looks like we've got meditation sequence from both runners. This is a teleport check. There's more than one way to unlock it. And yeah, they're just gonna hold. There's a button in PK Scramble that mashes for you. If you hold Y, it just mashes at like optimal speed until you hit a yes or no. So this is gonna go really fast between that and the instant text speed patch.
Yeah, the way my friend
thing that I wish was in the vanilla game, it would save our hands from mashing.
Oh yeah, I wonder if
the
I would be happy to just make a patch that only adds auto match. Like if the speedrun community wants to just accept that, I'm happy to add it for them.
Yeah, that is a running theme nowadays. Adding the turbo fire. A lot of people can be very divisive, but anything that keeps us healthy and happy, I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, the EarthBound community has what I think are very good rules, which is you're allowed to use turbo for text matching, but not for anything else. It actually turns out that there are some real stinky things you can do if you have turbo arrow keys. You can just like skip certain bosses and triggers and stuff if you have a 30 hertz mash. So that's not allowed, but yeah, you can auto mash the text to your heart's content. Key to the cabin. That's a good item. Yeah, that's a kid check. I didn't actually see if they don't have the place that it's at though, so they'll have to go dig that up.
They have Saturn Valley though.
Yeah, also a funny place to start. I think just for the items maybe. Oh, they have a meteorite piece. I just missed that. Also saw that they had Foresight to start.
Or they hit for the meteorite piece, which you can get by just going into the phase distorter.
I haven't seen someone use that in a while.
Mole Cave.
Yeah, moles like shiny objects, so it's in Mole Cave.
Wow.
Yeah, and we have access to it with the Force.
Yeah, Mole Cave is, like I said before, a very good EXP dispenser, but can be fairly dangerous because of the enemies in there.
I was hoping Gurk was going to go for department store. So in Forside, there is the Forside department store, which is haunted at the start of PK Scramble. And if you clear it, there are no key items that come out of it. You just get a hint for who is in Monotoli building and access to all the shops. But I set it up so that the shops in that store, and there are a lot of them, are all 10 levels higher than what is considered appropriate for wherever you are in the seed. So sometimes you can go there and get really good gear. And I actually think that a Foresight start is one of the cases where there's a decent case to do it. But Gurk didn't do it, and there's no way Chargles is, so we'll not be seeing that today.
Coffee cup, the ender of all dreams.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, we have generated enemies enabled. So this is a flag that I added. It will go through all of the enemy. Well, you can set how many percent. It will make an enemy from scratch. It'll take the sprite of something and have a big, complicated system to come up with funny names for them, and then it's going to pick thematic things that enemy might be able to do, and it's going to try to give it a brand new attack script. And it tries to be a little more balanced than vanilla, but vanilla's not very balanced, so a little more balanced is not much. So yeah, these are just completely new enemies. They're still scaled, but it could be anything, anywhere, and it's quite fun.
And Charles almost lucked his way through that fight. Every once in a while, you get the enemies stuck in very weird script loop. The Thunders hitting as many times as they did was actually pretty surprising. It has a really low hit rate, I think, in Team 2 Mega Thunder.
Yeah, it's 50% to hit with 2 kids in your party. Looks like...
Yeah, it's normally 25% with one enemy. Not good odds.
Yeah, it's 25% per target to a maximum of 4. Which is... Oh, we do have...
Casey Bat.
Yeah, we do have that department store after all. So let's see if there's anything good in here. Minor League Bat, that's what you want, not the Casey Bat. Casey Bat's garbage.
Absolute trash.
Casey Bat, I mean, if you want to look at home just for a bit of lore, the mighty Casey from the Cincinnati Reds back in the 19th century. All the lore you need to know about how the Casey Bat operates.
Well, there's also a poem about it, about Casey at the bat.
Exactly. That's what.
Sometimes runners will actually take the Casey Bat. So something that a mechanic that a lot of people forget about is you can actually equip items mid-battle. And if you equip a weapon mid-battle, you don't even lose a turn. It just equips it and attacks with it. So if you end up like against something you can't actually do damage to, then you just equip the Casey Bat and start smashing it. Like 1 in 4 chance of doing actual damage is better than a 100% chance of doing no damage.
Yeah. Okay, nice. I was going to say, it's pretty unfortunate. Charles got hit with Sunstroke well before he got Healing Alpha.
Oh, yeah. That always happens. So, for some reason, the chance of getting Sunstroke per, like, tick in the desert is based on your Guts stat. And if you get there early, it's just like, oh, yeah, you just always get Sunstroke.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've generated bosses too, so we don't even know what this is. The Worthless Saucer is our first boss.
And it's actually behaving like a saucer, and this says that it's shooting beams. Which makes sense.
So, fun fact, when we were doing like seed testing, we grinded through a bunch of bee seeds. I did a couple of last minute, and the 4th one, the predecessor to this, actually had Master Criminal Worms down here.
Oh.
So it unfortunately got chopped.
Yeah.
I guess I would get you going pretty quick. They do a lot of damage, though I guess the generated worm might not be as nasty as the real thing.
Yeah,
the real thing actually has a really...
Actual worm can be...
Yeah, the actual one has...
We had Flying Man, so Flying Man just one tap.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. That is a combo.
Yeah, Flying Man is extremely powerful. Go ahead.
Yeah. Also going to be seeing something special about this seed when they get to the center of Mole Cave. These mice are blue. These are return mice, not exit mice. We'll probably be seeing runners pick up 2 each. That's just a thing in Scrambles. You can have 2 mice. But these are return mice, so you have to set where you want the mouse to go, and then every time you use the mouse, you go back there. There's a bunch of fringe use cases of this, but a lot of the time it just ends up being a exit mouse with extra steps. One of the funny things is actually this cave is like the biggest place where an exit mouse is better in like exactly this situation, because you can't set the return location outside the cave because you don't have the mouse yet. Then you get in, you still have to walk out of the cave.
Yeah, since this flag doesn't have teleport anywhere, and it's unique compared to the other ones because the final flag also has teleport anywhere, I ended up setting the return mice right next to that mouse, and just every time I needed to go back, I'd come here, exit, or may not be the best strat, but get me mice.
Yeah, the other... you still have to walk out of the cave every time.
Yeah, it is a bit.
Yeah, but if you have to...
It's definitely faster than walking out of Stonehenge.
Yes.
Yeah, because quite frankly, who wants to walk out of there? I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a long one. They put exit mice in that one for a reason. If that's your first mouse in like your route somehow, and it's return mice, then you still have to walk out. That's always great.
Yeah,
Yep.
return mice are such an interesting change up from normal exit mice.
Yeah,
Especially
I
without
think they're a
teleport
lot of
anywhere.
fun. There's a bunch
They
of
are.
mouse flags. I usually turn this on and limit mice. So there are 6 exit mice in the game. And if you have limit mice, each one of them can only be picked up once, which also actually lets you pick up 6 mice at once instead of 2 if you really need mice. But I usually turn them on both at once because it's just like, well, we're mixing up mice. Let's do it 2 ways. And I've seen a lot of comments from people who are like, wait, are you allowed to not turn them both on at once? Is that going to be overpowered? No, it's fine. It's not actually that bad to have unlimited return mice. It's just I usually don't do it that way.
Yeah, I remember that being a discussion point, and I was just kind of confused when it came up like that. Now that you explained it, I'm like, oh, now I see why everybody was asking.
Yeah, I didn't realize that I'd created this impression that return mice are more powerful. I was just like, nah, it's nice to have more than one thing changing the mice at once because it's a little subtle on its own.
Yeah, sometimes coupling the flags together makes it more interesting than just using the one on its own.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a flag set on the website called Dr. Saturn's Choice, which is actually a lot of people like that better than Race Percent. But it's kind of just a bunch of flags that are good when paired. So it's like random start plus progressive enemies as a really nice synergy between those 2 flags. Where return mice and limit mice are interesting together. Whatever the other things are on there, I forgot. It's just flags that are fun together. And also I added extended PSI shuffle just because people really like that one.
So we got to teleport out to Happy Happy Village, and we already have key to the cabin, so it's jailbreaking time.
Oh, it looks like we're not going to bother jailbreaking on one of these. That's interesting.
That is something that crossed my mind while I was vetting PCs.
I
realized that having the full party is nice, but it generates a lot of lag, and it does kind of starve you for EXP. So if you fill up your party,
it's definitely better on net to have all of them. Though it is really funny when you have a 6-member party. It's so much lag, and it drags off the screen. Very entertaining. And we're going to get Paula, or maybe not Paula.
Charles wants to run back.
Looks like it's not Paula. I told you this is randomized.
It's a Jeff.
Mildly shuffled.
Mildly shuffled. There's only so many kids. There's a pretty good chance it's not even randomized.
Yeah, because I guess we didn't really run into it last seed, but also included in the characters is a teddy bear and a single flying man. So you're not always guaranteed to get a character out of the places where a character check can be.
Yeah, it's unlikely to get the teddy bear and flying man just because the way that the logic generates, it kind of needs to put the kids in because they are actual checks. But yeah, you can get anything.
Especially Jeff and Pooh, because they both come with a key item as well.
Yes, Jeff and everyone has their own little set of things. So in vanilla, Pooh starts with a tiny ruby, so that gets shuffled out. And then Jeff does not start with anything, but you do his whole quest and he gets the bad key machine. We're skipping his whole quest, so he starts with something from its slot.
Cool thing with that cabin too is you can just warp out of there. So if you have to walk out of Happy Happy, you will get caught by Pokey on the way out.
Yeah, there is a skip for that. I think Gurk and Brooke both know how to teleport out of there, end up having to walk through Happy Happy Village or Peaceful Rest Valley instead, and then do a teleport to skip that trigger. It's a really big trigger though.
I never really thought about that. Yeah, I guess you could do that. Luckily, the fight's usually not too terribly difficult. It's just more so you gotta wait for Pokey to come over, you gotta wait for the enemies.
Yeah, generally you're not going to end up actually having to walk back through there, so it's good to just risk losing that time.
I think one of my first seeds, I was had teleport anywhere on, so I was like, can I just throw a beta here? Oh, cool, I can just throw a beta here. Neat.
Yeah, I was worried about some of
Diamond
the
is around
cutscenes like that.
Reed.
Starting to 3
That's
is
a
good.
pretty
That's another
big
good
find
check. It
for
should be
McGurk.
full party soon. Yeah. Yeah, Gurk's going to be full party soon.
Yeah, he was, I think, one of the most challenging ones to find the seed for. I have a feeling, even with this one, we probably would have picked another one with a little bit more time. But this one's pretty interesting. Out of, like 4 days or 5 days of vetting seeds, this was the one that popped up literally last minute. I think it was the last one that we tested.
Does Charles not have the key to the cabin, or did he forget that he has it? I actually can't read the tracker from here.
Same.
So
I think the tracker isn't showing up properly on our end in the vMix call, so we can't really see it.
Oh, I mean, I can see it. It's just the size of a postage stamp.
Oh, no. Yeah, you're seeing it on the program feed. We should have it on this side.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
Okay, well, now it's the side.
My
No.
apologies.
Well,
When
that's
I
fine.
change things, I forget all the ramifications it has sometimes.
Yep.
it's all good.
Unfortunately, the unmitigated chaos of trying to run this.
Run a whole tournament.
In all senses. Yeah.
For anyone who missed earlier,
I
these
didn't
are...
see diamond item either.
Yeah. For anyone who missed the description earlier, by the way, we do have to see Pokey go a long way. We run a yearly tournament of PK Scramble, like the big official one. We've had other smaller ones as well. And the people who win that get their names in the credits. We've done it for 4 years. The 4 people who are in the credits for having won it are the 4 people who are running our little mini tournament here. So it's very cool that we managed to get all 4 of them for this little tournament.
Yeah, it was ecstatic. I had picked this up randomly on my own with a friend, and I was like, "Oh, I want to showcase this." I was like, there's probably a community that wants to showcase this more than I do. I popped in there, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we have an idea."
Yeah. I didn't think we were going to actually get the tourney from that. I was so happy that you went along with it. This is a really mean area, this Peaceful Rest Valley. It's almost like it's Peaceful Rest Valley.
Peaceless Rest Valley.
Yeah. I had so much trouble with this casually as a kid, as most people did.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the worst area initially. I think it's where the biggest difficulty spike is, because mushrooms and then the exploding trees. Ooh.
Yeah, there's a few worst area in the game contenders, and this is the first one. Like, definitively. This is, like, the first place in the game where I was like, oh, this is really mean.
It's so tight that a lot of the enemies are extremely scary, and you still have one character coming in here. So
yeah, it's still in the part of the game where it, like, expects you to grind, too. EarthBound's experience curve is kind of weird, where up to, like, level 30, it's like one curve, and then after that it's a different curve. This is very strange.
Hey, somebody found the carry flying man. Carrying man, maybe?
Carrying man.
We got ourselves a buff bird.
Yeah, I was saying Gurk's gonna have a full party. I didn't expect it to be the bird. Also,
you weren't the only one. I thought it was going to be full party too, but the game threw a curveball.
Yeah. Shoutouts to the Seed Finders for finding this one too, because going backwards through Peaceful Rest Valley is one of the things I really like. It's just, oh yeah, you can do that. That's a thing that can happen in a rando.
Yeah, it's such a weird experience if your first couple of times you're like, where do I go? And you're like, oh, I have to walk out backwards.
Yeah, that and Foresight to Threed are some of my favorite bits of logic. Actually, Foresight to Threed was kind of like what convinced me to do this rando. As I was like plotting out all the checks on paper, I was like, oh, I could do that. That's kind of cool.
Foresight to Threed is neat until you accidentally walk in the bus when you already have Threed.
Oh, yeah. That's a rite of passage. It used to be really close, and you would just like have to remember to hold down exiting that building, or you just get sucked right into the bus. I did move it a little.
Yeah, it definitely seems to have a little bit of leeway. But if you're absent-minded walking out, you're watching.
Yeah, it's a big hitbox. A fresh egg for Apple Kid. It's eating good today.
It's very interesting.
What will this lead to? Zombie paper. We already have Saturn Valley, so we don't need it. Oh, we got ourselves the third strongest mole.
Yeah, Gurk is... Oh, actually, it's Mondo. Well, that's neither. It's an entirely white digger. Did I read that right? Sure did. Yeah, so you don't get this check until you have Paula in your party. So this is out of logic for Chargles. But, you know, you could get the items behind it. You could get experience for doing it. Who knows?
Yeah,
the item
you can
really good,
nice
too.
Go ahead.
Oh, we got trees.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we don't have trees.
Rather, we had trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, the additional
eraser. Sure.
That is a nice chunk of EXP, though. That makes picking up the rest of the party a good idea now, because you have a good jump start on this and Poo. So you should be able to carry the rest.
I'm going to see if you actually...
Go ahead.
Yeah, so this is probably one of the reasons they did it, is access to this shop, because this is going to be scaled later, because this is out of logic, out of depth. This and the bakery, though the bakery is less likely to be checked, because out of depth food is not really that big of a deal.
Yeah, I thought it was just the bakery. I didn't realize this guy sold stuff too. Oops.
Yeah, actually, it used to be that the bakery was why you would do that check early. So it used to be that Repel sandwiches were in shops. You can still turn that on with a flag, but it was just increasingly meta-defining to find the shop that has repels and then just load up completely. And that shop was very likely to be a repel source, so people would just do that and load up over there.
I could definitely see it being overly centralizing, unless you overprice the repel sandwiches to a ridiculous degree.
I don't know if this... Yeah, it would have to be very, very expensive to pull that off. And they're supposed to be like casually useful items too.
Pack a bubblegum and we've seen eraser. You know what that means, folks? We
Can you go to the best dungeon in the game?
Acquired Stonehenge dive.
That'll be fun. We get to show off the a bridge dungeon over there. It'll be good. Maybe not good for the runners.
I think the first time I stepped into that abridged dungeon, it was so far out of logic that there was a legendary bat in there. That was
That's not bad.
This is one of the things I love the most about doing these specific shows with randomizers, especially if we can get a dev or the dev involved in the showcase. You get a lot of pulls behind the curtain and get a deeper look at why everything is the way that it is, rather than just having to assume.
Oh yeah, one of the things I was going to mention, like behind the curtain. So items and enemies are scaled according to some route through the game, right? Enemies have a level field in their structure that is only used for determining whether they run away from you or not, but it's actually quite reliable. I only had to tweak it for a few of them, so most of the scaling is just based off of that. HP scaling is also based on how many kids are in your party, but yeah, so there's a level field that enemies just have that I use for scaling them. It goes up to 70 in Cave of the Past. And then items, I went through and looked at the first location that you can find every item in the game and found what level are the enemies in that area. And I assigned that level to that item for most of the items. And then a couple of them I actually went in every location that you can find a cup of life noodles. What level is that? So when you're going through, the scaling gets up to level whatever, and say you're level 26, I think, is Dusty Dunes. That is where you can find the Silver Bracelet is over there. So it's just like the level determines that it's based on the level that you would first find stuff in the vanilla game. And then the bag of Dragonite and the cup of life noodles, maybe something else. It's every individual instance of it. So the first bag of Dragonite is at the depth of Monkey Cave, and then there's more of them as you go through the game because they're a little bit backloaded. I wasn't going anywhere with that. I just hope it was interesting.
Well, there's also another thing that we've been seeing a little bit that we haven't really, I don't believe, touched on. You also, I believe this is added, when you hit R on the shoulder button, it'll actually bring up like a quick menu, so you can juggle the last item you interacted with, picked up, bought, whatever, and move it around between the characters, and even equip it when you give it to that person. The only downside is the enemies still move while that quick menu is up, so if you pull that up while enemies are around, you're going to get jumped. But it is a nice way to interact with your inventory very quickly.
I know I have webcam off, so you can't see, but I was just grinning when you mentioned that. Yeah, I wrote that a whole menu thing, and it was like a bug-ish. Like I wasn't expecting enemies to move when you have the menu open, but it is so funny, and it doesn't like break any further. Like if you get attacked by an enemy while it's up, it'll like turn the entire screen gray, and it looks like you broke the game, and then you leave the menu and just get a normal fight. So funny. You can't possibly fix that. I think it's just hilarious.
Every once in a while, I'll be playing through a seed, and then I start like going into the menu normally, and I'm like, why am I not pressing R?
Oh yeah, and there's so many things that I put into that R menu. If you move an item to someone who can equip it, it'll offer to equip it. If you actually do that, then it will put the item that was unequipped into the R menu slot, so you can then move that item or go R menu, drop it. So, for example, if you get a new arm bracelet, you can R menu, put it on Paula. R menu, take whatever bracelet she had, put that on Jeff. R menu, take whatever bracelet he had, put that on Ness. R menu, drop that one. And just very quickly go through and re-equip everyone with the like descending gear. Yeah, I really enjoyed being able to do that.
Bracelets or pendants or charms. Yeah, I could see that being very useful, especially sometimes you hit a pixie bracelet and you're like, all right, that's going on Ness, but I also
you have to. Yeah, you have to shuffle it all the way down. Pebble in chat's also mentioning something else I find absolutely hilarious and perfect is Ancient Cave also has an R. Ancient Cave is one of the other randomizers for this game. Also has an R menu shortcut. It's very handy. If you press the R button, it drops the item. And when you switch back and forth between it, you always end up accidentally dropping an item going back into Ancient Cave. Hilarious. Great every time.
Yeah, it's hilarious until you drop a sea pendant or it has definitely happened. Oh, and I mentioned one other thing pertaining to PK Scramble is that if you have an active repel while R menuing, your repel time continues to tick.
Oh yeah, another thing repel-wise that I was reminded of recently is if you teleport while a repel is out, that cancels out your repel timer. So with those teleport anywheres, if you have enemies on the screen that you try to teleport around, just don't do that while you have a repel up. Your repel's gone.
Yeah, min-maxing on repels is super important. I didn't realize it was a timer until you mentioned it. I was thinking it was Pokemon step version, so I was like, all right, as long as I'm not walking, I'm not losing it.
Oh yeah, it's a status. There's a special party status flag, which is used for some very strange things. And then there's a timer that gets kicked off at the start of it. The party status flag is normal, using a repel sandwich, and that normal using a skip sandwich in vanilla, repel sandwich in PK Scramble, and when you teleport bonk, that like toasted status that you have, where everyone is like soot covered, that is another one. Same bite has that status in it. Very strange. And then when you use the broken phase distorter and everyone gets toasted from that, actually a different status, not any of the same ones. Very strangely programmed game.
So it's very much a SNES era game, I guess. One of the other cool things that you coded in with the R too is you can also hit the B button to ask if you want to drop the item.
Yeah.
Because you were mentioning that earlier that people were throwing away mummy wraps and handbag straps. That's the easiest way to do RBA. And then you go, oh no, I didn't want to throw that away. And then you see a monkey's love and you're like, I don't need this.
Yeah, that one's actually kind of useless. That one's just a stun, not a very good stun.
We got ourselves a rude crow that stole a rappel.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, from one of our runners. I believe it was McGurk.
I hate to see it.
And yep, that crow is definitely something else. I'd put it on the same level as some of the unique monsters in a Xenoblade Chronicles game.
It's a criminal offense. We're going to have to take both his wings. Jerk.
Oh dear.
No rappel stealing for you, buddy.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the case. Birds are literally rude.
As we say here on this channel, birds are jerks.
Hey, you said it, not me.
Who?
It's our mantra.
Time.
We all know
we
birds are
got?
jerks here.
Yeah. Speaking of mantras, we were talking about things being inconsistent. We have a thing that we like to joke was the EarthBound developers motto is, why do have one thing to do? Yeah, let me try that again. Why have one way to do things when you can have three ways? Is kind of how everything is implemented in this game.
Yeah, that tracks. We go.
There's actually
taking the
two
dive into
internal switching
Stonehenge.
languages. Let's go. So this is going to be abridged Stonehenge. I was talking last seed about how abridged mole cave is like kind of the same layout, but I shortened it. This one's just nonsense. I just kind of glued together all of the big purple rooms and like the most interesting parts of them into one room, because the purple rooms are the worst. So it's just one room of it. It doesn't make sense. But if you go down and to the right, then you're through it, and then you don't have to deal with the big purple rooms anymore. It's still a long dungeon, even though the purple room is really short, because like Stonehenge is like 4 different themes of dungeons all glued together.
Yeah, especially if you're being greedy. Oh, this can be pretty bad. So exploding enemies are the nemesis of your flying man. He does a lot of damage, but he also eats the explosion, so he dies very quickly.
Yeah, he doesn't have that much health. He has good defense, and also things just don't target your extra party members very often. But yeah, eventually those explosions and all hitting attacks will knock out your flying man. We also want flying man to fall over, because he's really useless at Gygus. So ideally, you lose flying man on the last boss before Gygus.
I don't think I've ever been able to nurse one that far, honestly.
Oh yeah, you do not want flying man in your Gygus fight.
Yeah, I can
No,
see
no,
it.
no, 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 1,000 times no.
The one that really stinks is like flying man is so fast.
Flying man.
He will punch through exploding objects really quick, and you're just like, no, no.
More like dying, man.
Yeah. You're like, I'm just trying to run, dude. Hold still. It is a. You would think.
Also, when you use, I gotta point something out here. Yeah, point something out here. When eraser gets used, it erases itself.
Yeah, that's a really cool feature, so that you don't have to bother calling.
It's very clever. I love it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I tried to. The game's really inconsistent about whether it removes your key items or not in different situations. So I tried to remove wherever possible. I've had a few comments where people are like, "Oh, but you should remove the pencil eraser. You don't do that." And it's always from someone who's used it twice. I was like, "No, there's 3 of them in the game. That's why I don't remove it." You never end up actually using all 3 pencils. Who is this boss?
The
detestable officer.
right here, and used all 3 pencils.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
The big thing here is like Stonehenge can sometimes have some really cool stuff depending on how late in the scene it is, but the chests are so far apart you usually just jet down the center and never look back. It is nice because it's one of those dungeons like the mole mines that deletes all the enemies once you finish the boss. So you could go back through and grab everything.
Yeah, it's not so bad on the abridged version either, but why do that when you could be reckless and fast?
Time banana.
This enemy's called the Green Roundness, but it's blue. Who can understand that?
It came out of the... It's green around the gills.
Ah.
I guess the question is, did it over-randomize its name or its color?
Did both.
Yes.
Yes. Creep with envy.
I mean, that tracks too.
The other thing that's really neat about this is if you're not working with genned equipment, you slowly but surely start learning like the break points for where the equipment gets really valuable. Bracelets are like all right, but the ones you want are like pixie or above because it actually adds luck, which is I believe the accuracy stat for physical.
Oh no, luck's almost useless.
So it's for Buff Burb on McGurk's side.
Oh no, bird. So the luck stat is only used for defense from certain attacks. It's like the solidify attack and a bunch of other things. It's almost only attacks that don't matter or are incredibly rare. The only like threatening attack that checks for luck is Diamond Dog's diamondizing bite attack can be warded off with luck, but it also takes a lot of luck to get it. It's a one, like each luck is 1/80th of a chance, or whatever that is in percent, like 1.7 or something.
But another way to ward that off, just have a greater crystal charm equipped because resistance. You're also resistant to Timidite. There you go.
Yeah. The defenses on some of these items are super important too. The nullifications or protections.
Yeah, the elemental defense is really the most important thing. So the stuff that's on pendants or the diadem is really what you're looking for. And there is a added pendant to this, the OK pendant, which was suggested by Aurelius, the first runner to actually give this a shot. I have to find out what this meme is first. Oh, it's a super scramble. I hope you have a super scramble too, Charles. Yeah, the OK pendant is just weak elemental resistance to everything, which smooths out the Gygus fight if you have it. But you do need some sort of elemental resistance going into Gygus. And because that's not a vanilla item, it's worth mentioning. It is at the same depth as the Dusty Dune stuff, which includes the silver bracelet. So if you can figure out that that's the depth you're at, that's also where you should be looking for those OK pendants.
I see. So, what you hear from McGurk is to get extra exits, because you do have access to Southern Onet. Gotta be careful, though. These enemies could get a little fierce.
Yeah, these are probably way past scaling enemies, just due to how he's getting here, but it's very common to do the reverse exit mouse strategy. People have timed it out. It is very good. Actually, I think the most recent person to retime it was Gurk's own daughter, Mad Cat, who is also a very good runner of this. Redid the timing, and yeah, you just want to have exit mice every time. Every place you can use it is worth it. Well, almost every place. It's not worth it to get out of Liar's basement, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Liar could say that it's worth it, but he's just really exaggerating.
That's actually an interesting play. I never even considered it when I was testing this seed in particular. Like,
oh yeah, reverse mouse is standard meta. Gotta remember, you want every mouse you can. They're always worth it.
Makes sense. Especially like without teleport everywhere, since we're on return mice, like a lot of these exits take forever to walk back out.
Yeah, well, return mice basically work as exit mice too once you've set them, so you can just return out. The other useful thing... Go ahead. The other useful thing is you can set it at a boss, particularly the final boss. It's a good idea to just set your mouse in front of it. So if you take a death, you can just mouse back.
Oh, yeah, that is a... Yeah, because like the big one is...
It's a strategy we use for the exit mice.
The big thing is just making sure that you... Yeah, that's...
Hyper spinning plug.
The big one is just remembering that, like, not to mash it out, because it'll just return you. There's been a few times where I've tried to set the point and then return somewhere, and I'll be like, well, I guess I'm not doing Carrot Cave right now. No pink cloud.
I always like it's always fun to have a new chance to spaghetti a menu. It hates when it happens, but the unfortunate
so nice
moments give the game more texture, you know?
Yeah. No, because there's such a variety of options with this. There's enough different ways to play that, like, you can find your own playstyle, but every once in a while you can change things up and give yourself a nice challenge, too.
So something you can see Gurk doing here is going through all of his key items and giving them, I think, to Paula. This is a fairly common strategy. Paula has, like, well, Paula and Pooh don't need gear as much. Ness ends up with everything by default, and Jeff needs to load up on items sometimes. So once you get one of those characters, they get all the key items. Now you know all your key items are over there, and everyone else's inventory gets cleared out.
Yeah. I started doing that too, because somebody had mentioned to me that, like, a lot of the lag is generated from Ness's actual...
Oh yeah, that's another good point.
For some reason.
Yeah, so two of the modders in PK Hack put a ton, actually maybe more than two, put a ton of work into optimizing the text engine. So PK Scramble features a heavily optimized version of the text engine, and there's a lot less lag in those screens. It's still pretty laggy when you have a full inventory.
Yeah, because I've been huffing it through Moonside. I didn't realize that the particular person they were talking to warp was such a big time save, and man, Moonside is just lag fest. Even with just Ness, it's awful.
Oh yeah, I think the flashing palettes add some lag. I've never really dug into it, but something about that seems to make lag happen a little more easily. And also enemies that move in a circle pattern, that is actually just really poorly optimized code. So every time there's enemies with circle patterns, that also lags the game out.
I mean, if nothing else, Moonside, like, makes you appreciate the rest of the game, not running at 2 frames.
Yeah. Moonside, Fire Springs, and Big Room and Happy Happy all kind of lag a lot.
Happy Happy is one of those weird ones where you think it wouldn't, but boy, does it.
Yeah.
Development here. We might be headed for a second monkey visit because Everdread had the monkey invitation.
That's good. We can see how everyone handles Monkey Cave. I think that's important. It looks like Gurk also does this Paula's mom check. So this is just a free item. It's a hand-aid slot. It's a repel sandwich, just like Brooke said it would be. So definitely worth the time to go do that.
Surprised we're keeping the bear around. I usually chuck it as soon as it shows up, just to reduce the lag just a little bit more.
It is kind of a lag magnet. All of the so the sprite system in this game is pretty unoptimized. Every sprite is using a custom scripting language that they wrote. So it's not even in assembly, it's just like it is running a scripting language to run the sprites. And then there's a very slow collision check where it checks every sprite against every other sprite. And there's a very slow sprite sorting check where it has to make sure that the sprites in the top of the screen are earlier in the list so that they get displayed below other sprites. So it just does all of this for all the sprites. It can generate a lot of lag.
Yep. I'm really used to being afraid of the bear, specifically because I play Curse a lot and higher level. So, like, getting hit with fire, the bear just makes it so much worse because you get an extra text for like damage.
Oh yeah.
How fast the HP ticks down. Fire can strip your HP if you don't have any protection.
You said afraid of the bear. I was thinking you were talking about the bears that are in the Lilliput Steppes. I was like, they're not that scary.
Honestly, like when I play this casually, I would grind off the cavemen and bears with Jeff. I have no fear of them at all.
Well, here is that extra monkey cave that we were talking about. Let's see if
So we are getting all 3 uses of the eraser in one speed. So everybody with me. Everybody 3 count. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
I had to do that bit.
Yeah, so I was saying that I don't have to add the pencil eraser erasing itself because this never happens, but I guess it did. But it also can't erase itself. Yeah, it's not a pencil, it's an eraser, so it can't erase itself.
Yeah, the one thing that's like, really the key items only end up being a struggle if you're like stuck with a single character. Like if you're only Ness for a long time and you end up having to pinball all over the place to find the right key item.
Yeah. I also see a lot of people. I see a lot of people struggling with items who have like a ruler and a slingshot from earlier in the seed. It's like, you don't need that slingshot from the start of the seed. You're never going to use that. Just drop that.
Yeah, the early game items.
Did you all see all those clocks that were on Charles' screen? Holy smokes! All that
Charles
lag.
He decided to roll lag time.
Everyone likes some lag once in a while.
Both fans of the clock were on lag o'clock.
Oh, trout yogurt.
Platinum band, pretty decent. Notice for like a lot of the race seeds, platinum band and gold are usually like your end game bracelets.
Yeah, a lot of runners like bracelets are pretty unimportant as well. Like it's worth equipping them if you see them, but it's actually not worth buying them because the defense stat is only used by bash attacks, which are like the least threatening thing later in the game. Even if you get Frank actually has the highest offense per level of any enemy in the game. So if you get like Frank as Gygas' assistant, then it'll roll like 600 damage, which sounds like a lot, but endgame, who cares, right? It only hits one person, doesn't matter. So you don't really need to worry about the defense stat. You need to worry about the elemental resistance stats.
Yeah, party white stuff like fire, Gygas' like flash or ice, just and like getting put to sleep or confused or just absolute nightmares.
Yeah, I guess defense does help against tornadoes, so in cursed seeds I would definitely care about it more.
Oh. Yeah, fair.
Charles is beating up considerate Mr. Cup. How dare you? He's considerate.
Well, beating it up is inconsiderate. So.
I agree.
So normally Belch's Bays and like Luminous Halls both have the floppies and fobbies, which are really good grinds. But since we have Gen Enemy, we just gotta kind of deal with what we get here. Although I would imagine runners at this level will just do a one and done. I ran into this yesterday when I was vetting this seed, and I was like, I forgot this guy existed. This enemy.
There's 2 enemies that don't appear in Scramble unless you have like specific flags, which is the Evil Eye and the Gruff Goat. Just due to the way that Scramble's world state is. We have someone with Carpenter's Sprite in here. That's fun. Due to the way that Scramble's world state is, those enemies just don't appear unless you have shuffled enemies of some sort.
Yeah.
Which for Evil Eye is great. It's really nice not having to run into Evil Eye. It's a really nasty enemy.
I mean, I completely forgot he existed till I started doing like skills and realized how good Googly Eye is once it gets up to Evil Eye. But skills are the skill flag is really cool. We can go over it a bit more once we actually get to it, but it has a lot of dynamic.
That was a lot of fun to program. I'm glad that people have enjoyed it as much as they have.
That one definitely puts some thought into which way you're going with your skills to what you learn. Because that can definitely change how a scene is out.
The long and the short of it is it'll add additional things to the level up, so you're not just holding Y, you actually have to think about what you're doing.
Yeah. So, funny little detail, in Belch's base, so Belch is blocking the door. Almost every time some person or enemy is blocking a door in this game, it is also blocking the door with a flag check. So even if you like no-clipped through that enemy or something or despawned them, you wouldn't be able to get through the door. Belch base is actually one of the ones where they didn't bother doing that. When I added boss shuffle, people found out you could just walk right past him and ignore him, which actually messes up all the game's flags. So I had to go add that locked door flag in here.
Yeah, I've found some of these that you can just like get behind, like Liar X Aggregate and some things like that. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Then you walk out of the house and he's still standing there, and you're like, oh, never mind.
Oh yeah, so Liar actually does have that in vanilla, the thing where the door behind him is locked. But Liar's flags are some of the most complicated in the game. He's really treated like a very important NPC, with all sorts of like updates based on the state of the plot, and they lock and unlock his doors all the time, and I had to just like go strip them out so that people wouldn't end up hard locking their seed, because
yeah, that's right, because it's supposed to be progressive digging throughout the course of the game.
Yeah, he changes. Yeah, the state of the Mani Mani statue during there and what he says about it and all that is very plot relevant the first time you play, and then you never remember these even there again. This senior annoyance is being very annoying. But yeah, that's actually why it ended up being one of the PSI checks. Is like, this is actually very important in the plot. Just we all forget about it. Also, just because there needed to be another teleport in on it for like game balance, openness reasons.
Speaking of,
this is a sixth sanctuary.
Sheriff band.
Yeah. And Blizzard and Gale. My random enemy name generator has a special case for this enemy because it's completely different from how every other enemy's name works. So it just randomly names two of the thunderstorm, etc. synonyms that I came up with.
Good choice.
Yeah, that's a good name. There's also like the color actually fits for once.
Perfectly.
So we did have
matched it perfectly. Chef's kiss.
Yeah. Good job, random numbers.
I had to do a little bit of a couple life noodle juggling there. You got to be careful when you're first coming into this. When a person's dead or paralyzed, they can only give the item. So if you go to hit down to give, you'll drop it, and you're not going to be very happy.
Yeah, that is a classic EarthBound troll in every category.
Freeze once again, clutching.
So the boss said that was the sixth sanctuary, which means that hypothetically there are 6 sanctuaries in logic up to this point. So maybe these runners will be going for 5 or 6 sank instead of Gygus. But that is the Gygus unlock for Gurk.
Oh yes, I was going to talk about this. So a lot of like the ends and stuff will recover your HP and PP. Then there's those hot tubs or springs across the whole course of the game. One thing you need to keep in mind when you're doing this is that only recovers HP and status, not PP. So chilling in hot springs is usually a waste of your time.
Oh yeah, actually it used to be a much. It's a chicken.
And we free the bird. That applies to Ancient Cave, by the way.
Yeah, that chicken was in the last item there, so Gurk could have R button menu dropped it, but Gurk knows. You have to free the chicken, not drop the chicken.
I'm fairly certain springs recover HP.
I think they're just status. I think it recovers your HP if you're dead.
Yeah, it'll recover your psychic points if dead.
I don't think it does.
But that's it.
Regardless, we have easy deaths as enabled by default now, which means knowing all these things is a lot less necessary because you just go until you fall over and then go again.
Yeah.
Also, the hot springs
it
are.
makes forfeit. The
Yeah,
benefit is too is it makes a forfeit a full heal.
Oh yeah, also forfeit is in here now. It used to be the meta that you would find one of the instant full heal revives and save next to that, so that whenever you took a death, you'd be able to do that. So it's like a big part of the game was, oh, I got to Dalam, which is actually the second best save point in the game for that. You can go save in the throne room because Pooh's Master is a full heal revive. Or if you end up in Winters, you go save next to the revitalization machine, which is even faster, full heal revive. But we don't have to worry about that anymore. We have full heal and revive when you come back. And it looks like Gurk is going to Gygas, and it looks like Chargles is going for 5 sank or more.
This will be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, those are some big zombies.
Zombies look big to the character spreads here, but then again, this is how they scaled law to make your party seem very compared to the dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's really funny.
Pretty well with what they had to work with.
Yeah, it's a good effect, and it's really funny when Flying Man is in your party because they did not bother giving him a tiny sprite, so he's huge.
Did
people
either
in
of the runners head to Summers, or am I just like losing it?
Sorry, I missed the question. Also, I don't know what's going on.
Have either of them head over to Summers at any point?
I'm on the second seed, so I don't know what's going on. Yeah.
So there is most definitely a way to get to Summers, and I did not expect them to path this way. Honestly, I'll mention it when we're done with the seed. But
interesting.
UFO
engine. It's a cutscene. You can skip it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably a 6 sank option, but well, here's Gygas. Oh, by the way, wait. It's a meme in our community to guess who the assistant was going to be. I was ready to go guess Frank, but then I remembered it's generated enemies. Yeah, it's going to be an annoying enemy. That's my guess. Pebble is guessing how many legs. Good way to do it.
Would a clumsy robot be annoying? I would say so.
Oh, it's not annoying until its name says annoying. We're doing hard mode. Oh, it is a flimsy.
Clumsy robot is annoying exactly the moment where your damage output is based on rockets. And then you're like, well, hard check. Oh.
I also have clumsy robot-based generated enemies, the average android and the flimsy something droid on both screens. Flimsy prancing droid.
It is nice that we found Bazooka in this seed, though. It gives Jeff a nice, consistent DPS. Well,
and Bazooka is good against clumsy. Yeah, no more Jeff.
No DPS here.
If you don't have extended PSI shuffle or something, Jeff kind of becomes your least important member, less likely to get the good defense items.
Oh yeah, this fight was awful. I only made it through for a very specific reason. I was actually very interested to see how the runners would handle this, because this Gigas is just awful.
Interesting. So we have the wooden lump on the left-hand side. Wooden lump is our Mr. Molecule, and if I remember correctly, I gave them just the worst pool of horrible attacks because that doesn't matter. They start out unable to concentrate, so I was like, well, if you let the boss concentrate, then you're gonna have a bad time.
Yep, at that point, for a bad time, you might as well cue Megalovania.
All right, I think that's Chargles' 5th sank. I think Gurk's in the lead still. So Magicant plus a boss is definitely faster than all of Gygas, but Gurk is a decent way into Gygas.
Yeah, without any PSI items, this is going to be very rough.
Yeah, I'm surprised we skipped the brain foods and happy didn't grab any at all. But then again, I haven't won a championship.
Well, next tournament starts at the start of next year, so come on in. Maybe you can get the next one.
I'm interested enough after vetting so many seeds. I don't know if I'm going to make it out of pools, but hey.
Lantro was very new and won. So, depending on just how much you want to grind it, you can get in there.
Oh yeah,
I've always just missed like a cutoff. It's kind of missed it much sort of feel.
Got to look at it from a fun perspective rather than worrying about being champion. That'll just drive you over the edge. At least that's the way I look at it. But this is definitely one of the two games I've played this year. This and Breath of Fire Dragon Quarter. Couldn't be any more different choice, though.
Earth Pendant in the last best.
Fine,
That'd be very useful for Gurk. It's also surprising to see in Magicant. Usually Magicant is not actually scaled that deep.
Yeah, I don't think checking any of these I found like any of the high tier like Pixie or Earth or anything like that.
Yeah, that's just very unusual.
Because Earth, I think, is the first one of them that has multiple protections.
Yeah,
yes,
it's a half PSI.
Yeah, it's
level 2. This is a lot tighter than I expected.
Yeah, I think ChargingCharles is in the lead here, but this boss might be really nasty because there were Earth Pendants before it. Pray safety, Ness and friends.
Pray safety, Ness and friends, yeah. The praise are hilarious. I love them.
Oh yeah, I requested the ability to have sprites in the middle of the fight from Cooprox, one of the modders in PK Hack, and I didn't realize the mountains he'd have to move to make that possible. This is like a publicly available mod. You can add it to any of your EarthBound mods, yeah, it really. It's incredible.
So you win right here, right after the battle.
Yep, and
yes,
that's
is the funny one.
GG's in chat.
GG.
Struggles.
Wow.
Oh, also a pretty close race.
The reason I was surprised we didn't head to Summers on the UFO ride in, because I was like looking for some decent gear when I was playing through it. There's master criminal worms on the beach.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't think the runners don't really matter or don't really care that much about experience routing in general. So,
yeah, it's fair. It's definitely a crutch for a newer player. But I was like, this might be a really cool thing for them to run into at the end. It'd be funny to see them like spike a couple and then just absolutely roll Gigas over. But,
yeah.
Obviously, they can handle it even without so much experience, because these are pretty low levels for at least a casual player.
Yeah, I guess you really just want any elemental resistance on Paula, ideally also on Ness, heal on every turn during Prey, and you're going to get through. If you have the Franklin badge, you need to put it on Paula. If you don't worry about it. The scaling actually does take into account where the Franklin badge was, so if it thinks you should have it, then Thunder is going to be strong, and if it doesn't, then it'll be weak.
Yeah, I always make a habit to just immediately get rid of the badge if I can.
Oh yeah, me too.
Because it's just like I don't want to forget this later and have her get nuked. Just ugh. Yeah, this was a really weird one where it's like it was the seed was boxed out of like most of the end game areas. It's very like these are the places you get and that's it. Unless you want to go down the rabbits or the rabbit's den or whatever you want to call it.
Rabbit's den sounds like a EarthBound dungeon.
Mother 4 coming soon.
I wish, for real.
Yeah, just don't name your hack that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness, we missed that one of the bosses was named Totally Hot Sauce.
Yeah, because the seed right before this one had master criminals in the mole spot. So it was just Ness and Pooh conquer the world after, or maybe it was Ness and Paula just conquer the world after melting 4 moles for EXP.
All right. Oh, both runners
Ness's nightmare level. So yeah, that was logic.
Yeah, that's unusual, but I don't know, it's a rando.
Yeah, rando's gonna rando, as they say, and Earthbound's random enough as it is.
It really is.
Get the two together, and it's chaos. We love it. Earthbound's random enough as it is.
And that is the 2 easy seeds out of the way.
Yes. Yeah. So our winners are going to be up against each other in a little bit, and we picked all sorts of spicy flags for them. Yes. So our winners are going to be up against each other in a little bit, and we picked all sorts of spicy flags for them.
I've apparently hit a button somewhere that's causing so much
A little like
feedback loop, which is so much fun. But trying to get our 2 runners into talking with us, so we can say hi. We can talk about how things went.
yeah, man, that was 2 very close races that were
How things went.
could have pivoted pretty hard on just one bad status ailment. That was 2 very close races. Could have pivoted.
Been putting in some really great races for us. Thank you, runners, for being like really close together on all of our seeds so far. Been putting in some really great races for us.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Really close together on all of our seeds so far.
Yep.
Not yet, Charles. I don't believe. Try again.
Charles, I think you may have pressed a mute button on your end somewhere because I'm not getting anything from you. But McGurk, you're here. You're live.
Yes.
You're right. The problem was on me.
I am alive. We'll call it that.
Yeah, you went Gygas, I saw.
Yeah, I was really scared of that Underworld was going to be 7th.
I was thinking that after fighting some Lost Underworld enemies. I tried to make a break for the cave and got caught by 2 UFOs that were very hot. I ended up burning a rappel in Fire Spring simply to avoid fighting things there. But it was 5th. It was just the boss was cake. The enemies around.
And I had enough repels that I could have used it and then done Magic Ant, but I'm still not sure how much faster or not faster that would have been. It really depended on if the bosses were mean.
Magic Ant wasn't.
Turns out
Gygas
Gygas
was
was
an Octobot.
a little tricky.
So you went did you find the 6th Sank?
Hitting with decent sized
whatever it was?
freezes, and the lightnings were full strength since we had the
badge.
we had the Franklin badge.
Did you find Sank 4, or did you end up grabbing 6th after Belch Base?
Nope, I was 1, 2, 3, 6.
Okay. Yep, it was 1, 2, 3, 6, and thought I'd go Lost Underworld. I forgot I had the cabin key, so I walked away from Jeff. Had to go back later and get him. Mm-hmm. And I also forgot I had the wad of bills, so I accessed 3 using the diamond.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what the Venus item was, if
so
she was
did that.
relevant. So I just, a little bit of I would say seed bleed, because that was my first one of the day. It was more just ignorance on my part.
Yeah,
Well,
I
they
still
still
know
did
what
it.
that was, but I went through the same way because I hadn't yet done the reverse Tucson. So I was thinking that I would just go that way versus having
I reversed
to go
Tucson
turn in a lot of bills.
early. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I did not do that until very late. Well, did I do it early? I don't remember. I did do it pretty early, but yeah.
Ness got a combat yo-yo for his troubles if you got the Berglund Shack fight, so that helped brawl it out in some of those early seeds or early fights. I took a death in Moonside early on. I relied on Thunder Alpha that almost got me through the first fight, but Couldn't
I
pull that
was
out.
losing it when I saw that fight.
I mean, I knew I was in trouble, but I wasn't
just
too far from surviving that.
Yeah, I mean, I had a death early on. Right away, Moonside. That was fun.
Yep.
So it tends to do that. I feel you guys on that one.
All right, well, let's take another quick look at the bracket we've got here. We've moved one name again because that's how brackets work. We are going
Whose
into
name was it?
final now. We will have Brooke and ChargingCharles as our final race of the day. Before we go directly into that, though, we will be taking you back to back to the break screen because some of us need to use the bathroom and others of us need to spend some time cropping. So we're going to be having some fun with that.
And I need to talk smack to Brooke. You're going down.
All right. Hold tight, everyone. We'll be right back in just a little bit.
Hey, everybody. We are back for the third and final race between Brooke and Charles. I'm going to be yapping here for a little bit, so Ashen can get everything set up in the background. The last couple of flags showcased a lot of different interesting things. Extended Shuffle with PSI is really nice. It also changes the items, some gen to food, gen to enemies. We're going to finish with some of the hardest stuff here. Curse 2, which will give random effects to enemies, which I'll let JTolmar talk about a little bit more when we get there. Skill Tree, which is an interesting dynamic one that we'll discuss once we get our first skill. And as we get skills, and the most important one, Snake Tag. I did not know what Snake Tag was until I started helping vetting seeds for this. And you guys will find out really quick what Snake Tag is. Long story short, don't step on Snake. For those of you that know, you know.
Yeah. And because we want to thank them for being here, because they have so much knowledge of the game as well, our two racers who are not part of the final are joining us on commentary here today. McGurk, will you say hi?
Hello.
And Lantra, will you say hi?
Hello, y'all.
Since we don't have actual functioning talking indicators, those are what their voices sound like. So when you hear those voices, those are those two people.
Yeah, I guess real quick before we jump into the finals, I do want to once again thank Ephraim for helping me set this up. Temple, both of the mods were very much a linchpin, especially Ephraim for setting a lot of these up. We also had Pebble Possum, Relix, Temple, I believe, also contributed, and where is the last name? Let me make sure. Static Pulse, I believe, were the 4 additional testers that actually knew what they were doing, unlike me, that have helped figure out what seeds to put in for this race. So if you guys think the races were really good, remember they're the reason they were as good as they were, because we did we worked very hard to make sure that we had the best seeds possible for this.
Absolutely.
And with that,
also, thank you, Sid and Ashen for doing all the production work on this.
Oh, no worry. This has
always
been
a pleasure.
A delight.
It's a lot of work.
And once again, we want to thank Derek GNC, who's been keeping the tracker up to date for us for these runs, and the tracker itself, which was programmed by Aurelix as well, who even did some custom programming for us to make it fit in our layout. So we really appreciate that.
This has been a group effort. So I guess we can get into the race as long as Charles and Brooke are both okay and ready to start.
All right.
Brooke can give us a thumbs up. Brooke, you just type in chat wherever you feel like it. Say you're
I've
good
unmuted
to go
you.
or
That was
not.
a yes. I'm good.
Okay. Sorry about that. I have the brain of a very small slug. All right, I'll count you all in, and we'll get this last race underway, which is the finals. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm excited about this.
Right.
Everyone excited about this?
Oh yeah.
Hype.
Yeah.
Extremely.
Right. So
The last
Scramble is
few
very
races.
accessible to people who are new to it. It's an easy rando to get into. If you're at all familiar with EarthBound, you're going to have a good time. We have turned on all of the flags that are going to make that sound like lies. So we have Cursed Enemy and Snake Tag. Also, you can see something that does make the game easier. On Brooke's side, that was Skill Tree. It is a custom adding RPG elements to this RPG. You can choose which extra ability is going to be added to your characters, and you can choose extra stats. We're going to get another chance to look at that on Charging's side in a second when he fails to dodge these snakes. Maybe he will actually.
Maybe.
Or fail the menu to teleport.
Next time Chargles gets in a fight, you'll have another chance to get a good look at that. When you're getting a level up, you have a chance, or you have there's another one on Brooke's side. I asked both the runners to slow down and actually look at these for their first few, so we can get a chance to know what's going on. So you get a choice of plus some stat or plus some other stat. Also, there is a snake on Chargles' side. That is the snake of Snake Tag. If the snake touches you, you die. The snake can walk through walls. The snake can use the fact that EarthBound is one giant map. And the snake can use doors. No. And Chargles gets tagged early. Tag, you're it. Instant death. We do have easy deaths on, so this is pretty quick. But Chargles will have to go back and get to Liar's house some other way. Oh, and there's a snake on Brooke's side, too.
Look out, don't get chomped.
Don't get chomped.
Yeah,
the snake is
trying to do the sneaky ways to get in is a little more troublesome here with the snake chasing you.
Run!
A little bit
talk and exaggerate.
You can just talk to the dude. Yeah. A little bit of hesitation makes that clip really hard, and the snake will give you some hesitation.
Yeah, so Static is asking about where the snake starts.
The snake. Okay, so the snake starts in Foreside. If you load up a full map of EarthBound, so look on the left-hand side, Sneeze Fire and Laser in the Eyes are two options for extra abilities. So you pick one, and then Nest will have that for the rest of the seed. Sometimes it upgrades over the course of the seed when you get more levels. Right, so snake rules. The snake starts in the southern peninsula of Foreside. Whenever the snake tags you, the snake gets reset, but if something else kills you, the snake stays where it is. Snake can walk through walls, even out-of-bounds walls, and the snake can use the most recent door or teleport that you have used. It does its best to pathfind using those two things, and it moves significantly faster while it is off-screen. So generally, it will be catching up to you.
I'm a big fan of getting Sneeze Fire on that level 4. It upgrades at level 8. It's Fire Alpha Strength, and it doesn't just hit a row, it hits everything. It's just so useful.
Yeah, I like how you just know the levels. I don't know the levels.
Fire is like, I think, scaled Dragon Breath, isn't it?
It's all the fire is the same code. So PK Fire, PK Fire, Sneeze Fire, what is it that the Kraken does? Breathes Fire, Coffee Cup. That's all the same code.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Didn't know that.
Fire is actually great. Yeah, I mean, some of them have a different number, but it's the same code. Actually, Fire is the only one where it uses different strengths. Oh, no. Death from Brooke. We haven't had a chance to talk about Cursed Enemies yet.
Kill on Brooke.
So I did not get a chance to see what was going on there, but one of the flags that is enabled is Cursed Enemies. We have it set to level 2. Every level of Curse adds one random mean or rude thing to every type of enemy. So we have 2 mean things per enemy. Mean things can mean stat boosts, so that is actually a rather rare one. Improved attacks, power shields, explosions, all sorts of things that can be added via curses. So the runners are going to have to be on their toes to deal with whatever that is.
wonderful things.
They're
truly.
also, I believe the curses can also affect the amount that are spawned, and what's the other one? They also drop a very cool item called Spormus. Those are the coolest
Yeah, there's some really fun ones. I think we have seen the spawn one already with the snakes on the mountain.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll definitely mention
We
any ones that we see. So normal enemies can, if they have fewer than 3 max spawns, they can just double that for you. It's a very fun curse. And yeah, I'm gonna ask that we don't reveal any curses until they show up. We'll hopefully see them all. Pow Thud Attack or Stinky Breath. That is a Thunder or a Stinky Breath.
Sure. Might as well keep everybody in suspense. It makes
The
sense.
Stinky Breath can actually be good when it levels up, though, because then you can nauseate enemies. But
Yeah, that's a pretty good status.
whatever.
Though I
There's,
found out embarrassingly late that the Nauseate's a mischance just doesn't work for enemies. The game never checks it.
Good stuff.
Really now?
The skills actually have a very wide variety of usefulness, and it depends on like what you're looking for out of the skill. Like, there was
Yeah, I
power
went
shield.
through.
Ooh,
So
with
a
a
very
power
long-
shield. Hello.
Yeah, that is one of the curses. Is going to add either of the types
Oh,
of shield to an enemy.
Rainbow of colors too
Oh, I
on
missed that
the
one.
Thunder and Storm.
Yeah. So the
Chargos
thing
had
that
a battle rocket queued up, and that took care of the second form, thankfully.
we also see Chargos picking 1 vitality over 38 luck, which shows just how useful of a stat luck is. When I was setting up this flag, I asked all the runners like what their how much of each stat it would take to be a fair trade, like how much luck would you trade for 1 vitality, etc. And I set it to be a random range between all the things that they said. So hopefully it's enough to give people some pause, but luck is a really useless stat, so people never pick it even when it is like 40 luck.
Yeah, it's just it is a big number.
Yeah.
It's really
A big number of
still-
useless stat. If you don't know, Vitality adds 15 HP to your next level up, so that is actually just kind of the best stat.
Isn't it only 15 with Ness, and it's different with the other kids?
I think it's 15 for everyone.
Oh, that can't be true for
I thought
Paula.
it was a 1-for-1.
No, it's just
Didn't
Ness
realize
gets
it was
more
that.
Vitality, is why he's so much chunkier than the others.
Hello, Snake.
Hello, Snake. You gonna get teleport out of here, or are you just gonna let the snake get you?
Yeah. So when I was testing this, did not know we
Teleport
had
to avoid
teleport
the
on.
snake.
So
Oh yeah,
Snake
snake
beat
without
me
a teleport
bunch.
is hard. Yeah. Oh, Flying Man. Hello, Flying Man. We haven't had that. Oh yes, we have. Dumb.
Yeah, we did last
Yeah,
year.
we had
Yeah,
it,
we did
but
last
he came in a lot later in the previous flag. This is early Flying Man is going to show.
I
his
meant
stuff.
to scale. I meant to just scale Flying Man's stats to where he was joined, and then just it was so much work getting it all set up. I just didn't bother or remember, and then I left it in because it's really funny.
This is way better this way.
It's really fun
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, you get them so rarely. It's just totally worth having some of your seeds be like, oh, I have Flying Man. Everything dies for a few zones.
Double cops dropping Supporma is nice.
Double
And you
cops.
can't play those until the top gauntlet because you can't them out.
Yeah, the Supporma drop is one of my favorite curses because it's not a real problem. It's better than anything else, but it's just so rude.
It's really annoying in this when you get it with full inventory.
Yeah. I also set it up so you can't
Mhm.
drop them. You have to use them to get rid of them, just to make sure that you know that this is trying to annoy you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, by the end, we know they're trying. Wait, ooh, disrupt senses or shimmering light. Thoughts
Shimmering
on
Light's way
that
better.
choice?
Bad.
Disrupt senses is like can't concentrate is a really good effect, but the chances of it actually hitting are tiny. It's luck based, and bosses all have 40 plus luck, so it just doesn't work. Shimmering Light is a flash. It scales up. As it scales up, it starts being pretty good.
So one of the cool things that we have with the skill tree versus curses, curse can spawn like the physical reflect or PSI reflect. The skills, in most instances, don't interact with those reflective shields. So they're usually a good safe option if you're going into a fight and you're not 100% sure whether it's got a shield or not.
Yeah, that's kind of lucky that it works that way. Because the skills are just enemy.
Dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The skills are just enemy abilities. Back when I did this rando, I did all sorts of work to make it so that enemy abilities have every possible scaled version so that the enemy scaling works. So then all the ones that had lots of those scales became the things that are available for skill tree. It's just like, yeah, you can have this thing. I have so many scaled versions of it. You just, that'll go up as you go. $21 luck versus 13 guts. That's an easy choice. Guts is a really good stat. It's just it needs a lot of it to actually matter. Each one of it is like 1 or 2% smash chance, I think.
One of those like critical mass where you have to have a large number of it.
Yeah, you need at least 20 before it does anything.
Yeah, that's one of the.
Explains why.
Jump.
I love how it glitches out
That's one way to
sometimes
get rid of
too.
the mushroom.
Honestly, when I was playtesting this, I got the glitch screen like consistently for the first like several bites. So I just thought it always did it. Then about an hour in, I hit a screen where it didn't glitch out, and I was like, "Oh, it doesn't always glitch out."
Yeah, when I was setting it up, the first few of them didn't, and I was like, "Oh, this must be great." And then I just got really lucky. I have no idea why it does that. It's not worth fixing because it's funny. So,
Well, my theory is it only happens on screens where encounters don't happen. But it's just a theory. I haven't played around with it, so I wouldn't know for sure. So
I don't know.
Snake tag is like a very like scary scene set, but it also it gives you a lot of adrenaline. Like I the whole time I was playtesting this scene, I was just like heavy breathing every moment. Where is it going to come from? When's it going to come? When's it going to come?
Launchro played his first snake tag ever on stream a few days ago. It was really fun.
That's true.
It was proper.
That was a very fun
monster.
community race when you were you had us demo that.
Oh yeah, I didn't tell anyone what it was. I was just like, hey, let's all do a community race. It'll be good. And just everyone's on a call together, and it's just like, oh no, what have you done?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll play this often,
I
but
was
I definitely
not in that race because some of the words would not be repeatable.
gotta put the filter on or the mute button, one or the other.
Yeah, the snake will get some emotions out of you. He's a pretty startling fellow.
Mhm.
Honestly, I think we vetted a ton of A and B seeds. C was like the first seed we tested. We're like, yeah, this will be fine. I think snake is just there. There is no way for a snake seed to be easy, or at least there's very few ways for a snake seed to fall out to just kind of shake out to be easy.
Yeah. The runners don't usually practice snake tag as much either. Like they're both very good, so it shouldn't be, a horror for them. But it's Ness's Nightmare up there. That's cool.
Interesting choice.
Ooh, that could be a horror in its own way.
Yeah, another early check for this. So this boss is always logically after Paula, so this is out of depth.
It should be doable.
Brooke is finding the snake in a funny spot.
Flying Man's only hitting for 19, never mind. Okay, there it is.
Charles is still going for it. I think you're just going to lose your flying man.
Yep.
Oof.
Was that really worth it?
Yeah, I remember using that flying man as a hard carry on this seed, if I remember correctly. So that's a pretty big hit.
Yeah.
But then again, like I've said before, I'm nowhere near as skilled as these runners, so maybe it's not that big of a deal.
I didn't even figure out what the curses were for
Lose
Ness's
the
Nightmare.
fight. Hate to see it.
Honestly, with skill turned on, sometimes you won't even know what the curses are because you're just going to be using the skills, especially if your weapons are bad or you don't have enough PSI.
Ah,
At least-
exploding cultists.
I play often with skills at high curse level, so
Yeah, it's a fun combo.
That's
You just have
awful.
more stuff than.
Explode
I'm glad we have.
cultists, and you cannot run away from that enemy. That is just gross.
Get the shack.
Yeah, wrenches in this game is
You're right.
well.
Everyone likes
Yeah,
exploding enemies. They're great.
After 20 minutes of getting bit, I started just habitually saving everywhere. I was like, all right, I've had enough of this. I'm not warping back again.
You know, we didn't even mention that to get into Belch's base, you need fly honey instead of to wait for 3 minutes. So,
Yeah,
Belch's base,
thankfully you
fly
don't
honey.
have to wait 3 minutes because if you had snake plus
Oh,
the
yeah.
vanilla way, no, it would not work out. Absolutely not.
It would probably
Honestly,
work to just sit there while dead.
Maybe.
It's been
yeah.
so long since I played vanilla, I just assumed that was the way it was.
I get tripped
There's
up
just some of the
sometimes when
things
I
you-
look back at. Yeah, when I go back to vanilla, sometimes there's things that trip me up. For a really long time, the people outside of the cafe with Everdread weren't in Scramble. I added them back in at a later version. I had completely forgotten that was a part of the game.
So,
That is
Belch's
nasty.
base, depending
Nice world.
on how late it is, this is usually a good place to grind, especially with things like Sneeze Fire. Because if you're doing this with PSI, especially on Curse, sometimes you can get reflective PSI on floppies, and you're just dead. So, having access to Sneeze Fire
that's just
usually
evil.
means-
Yeah. Well, sometimes you get.
Nice
Oh, we don't have
grind.
exploding foppies. I was hoping.
Oh,
we-
exploding
Yeah,
floppies
Oh,
are
I've had to see
so
before. That's
toxic.
fun.
One of the
Nothing-
curses that
nothing
people keep suggesting to me to have a 0 experience curse, and it's like I'm not that mean.
That just doesn't sound like fun, honestly.
Suporma is funny mean.
Suporma's funny enough, maybe.
Suporma is
Oh,
funny
clumsy
mean, as long as you know.
rockets.
As long as you know you can use it to get rid of it, yeah.
Yes. Yep. The first couple of seeds, I didn't realize that I could use it to get rid of it. Me and my friend Sonny, and we were just like, oh, this is awful. And then eventually we looked it up and we're like, oh, okay, this is a minor inconvenience, not just awful. Got it.
Oh, Snake is close to Brooke.
Yeah, because that's the other thing too. Is even if you want to take the grinds in some of these areas, if the snake's close, you gotta go. It looks like the runners basically have ascended from any level of needing to grind.
Yeah, nobody grinds.
Not in any of the normal racing modes, for sure.
Yeah, I guess you do if you're playing Pokey's Choice.
If you want, I was about to say, if you want to do a Pokey's Choice, you might need to.
You do a Pokey's Choice
Yeah.
race. I'm not commentating.
It was something I slowly had to get used to with these. I
Do
realized
you
that
have
grinding
several hours?
One of the things that I saw. One of the things that I saw a lot of when I released this was people who are into it for some sort of challenge would just crank all of the settings all the way up and have a horrible time. So I've added Pokey's Choice specifically. So it's okay, don't do that. Here's as high as it can go. I wish those people would take that and then dial it down a little bit, but people just do Pokey's Choice as it is.
I have done a 200 plus curse. What is it, 8 or 10? I would never suggest that to
Curse 10's the
anybody.
highest I've heard of it going.
Yeah,
level
don't set
200
the enemy level to
curse
200 unless you have a very specific reason.
We
You're
tried
not
that.
gonna have a fun time.
What was it on weekly run 222? We tried doing something. I did a couple of fun runs like that. That was quite challenging.
Yeah, I think I set the enemies to 140 or something, just double everything. But that had a lot of mitigating factors, and it was still hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Loading up on bombs
if you
on purpose
crank
side.
up, if you go into shop sanity and generated food and generated equipment, 200's not too terribly bad. But if you don't, if you go vanilla, you're 100% in for a bad time. it's still pretty rough. I'd say it's worth doing like once, but it's definitely not the one of your first, or even, I would say first like 50 seeds. I would say don't do that.
Yeah, if you want to, like I said, if you want to challenge, like take Pokey's Choice. If that's
Franklin
too much,
badge.
do less than Pokey's Choice. Yeah. Franklin badge, that's
Franklin
useful.
badge.
That would
Looks like Charles
very
is
much
One
be
of the
useful, but
lines right
a
now for-
snake is right on the tail of our runners.
Yeah, Chargle's making a good call and saving outside of here so that all the snake deaths will be a short run back. Oh, also probably just going to death warp there later.
Yeah, I'd
Maybe,
imagine
but he's
that. I
running
think
the
it's a good
foresight
idea to do it
first.
there right now.
Yeah. Yeah, death warps are really easy in Scramble. You can either just find a boss and forfeit, or in this case, snake tag.
It's like the bosses were a little, or the enemies were a little mean inside of Milky Well.
Just like vanilla.
Mhm.
Yeah, some of the dungeons are kind of a little bit out of the way, so you usually want to take a crack at them to see if you can get them out of the way without having to take the extra couple of minutes to walk back to them after a warp.
Yeah, but there's a save next to that one. So I've got Boogie
I
Tank.
see. So we got a tent.
I still haven't seen a couple of the curses. Oh, there we go. Rainbow of colors. Yeah, so the ability that Carbon Dog has to turn into a new boss is a curse in this. It always turns into a weaker boss than it started, so it's actually not as bad as Carbon Dog doing it, but it is quite a rude surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Get very,
It's quite a rude surprise
scary.
when an overworld enemy does it.
Oh, that's great when an overworld enemy does it too. Again, it
Yeah,
always
if
just
you,
goes to an enemy from an earlier area.
Yeah, if you've ever stretched yourself out of logic a little bit and then end up barely beating the first form, and then there's another form, it's never fun.
Yeah. The big thing with curses, too, is like the higher it's set, the deeper you go, it can start layering multiple curses on. Most likely won't see it too much at Curse 2, but
Well,
it can get a little bit
Curse 2,
wild.
this was always 2 of them. If you go higher than that, it waits before adding the extra ones. So if you do like Curse 10, it'll actually start the seed as Curse 2, and then slowly add more and more. Just because the
Fire just
very
went
beginning
through
of the
a wall.
seed is too much.
Yeah. I could see if you layer too many curses too quickly, it would make it functionally impossible, or at least extremely difficult to get anything happening.
Yeah, it just becomes like an unfun searching every enemy for one that you can barely kill, and then grinding it. So a little bit of leeway to start off your seed makes it a lot more reasonable.
Well, we found the Sword of Kings, now we just gotta find Boo.
Looks like Brooke's doing exactly the same thing with mines, and saving there and planning the Death Warp back.
We have ourselves money.
Double then!
For trouble,
Double
I mean,
boss.
double. Money, that is. So that means this boss
So-
is money.
So this is actually in the code a different curse than the normal doubled enemies. There's different criteria for when it can happen, and this one decreases the boss's health. So they have 60% health, not half, 60%, which makes it a lot less horrible than it looks.
If you have a Dalam turning in the meteorite piece.
Diamond. Who's it gonna be?
Yeah, this is where
Oh,
Flying
yeah,
Man
who's
was.
gonna
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is where
I mean,
the buff bird was.
Seed Blade.
Yep. Seed Bleed gets commentators too, folks. Believe
Yeah.
me.
I pay so little attention to what's going on when I'm commentating in the first place. There's no chance.
Yeah, I'm lucky I can even follow what's going on because on top of that, I've tested a ton of the seats too. So I'm just like, is this what I think it is? And my brain keeps going, this is going to happen next.
Random fun fact: I recoded the cutscene on the left, this Runaway 5 one, to be a lot faster and to add Venus in. And I wanted to make the same change to the Tucson version of this, but they coded it completely differently. It's just like it doesn't work the same in the slightest.
Surprise! Moon said.
Oh, almost got the accidental life up. That one catches me a lot when I'm going for a teleport. It's worse with Ness because it just automatically gets fired off. Not really too bad.
That was a nice janky green swirl on Brooke's side. We were talking about that a few seeds ago. Oh yeah, there's another one. So Brooke's really good at this. The enemy will be chasing Ness, and you're going slightly faster than them. So you can actually catch them with Jeff, and Jeff will be back attacking these ants because the ant is facing towards Ness. It looks like she did not get it on this last one, though.
Oh, API.
API. Yeah, so one of the curses...
Favorite type of enemy. API.
One of the curses is to replace the enemy sprite with something else, in this case, a butterfly. But some of the enemies in their movement code use an extra frame that not all enemies have, and it includes these ones. And the butterfly does not have that frame, so you just get some random glitch graphic. I guess I could add that frame to the butterfly. That wouldn't be so hard.
I think at this point you're locked in. The API's got to stay or people will riot.
Oh, maybe. But butterfly resting sprite would also be pretty funny. Bash is not doing much here. Yeah.
Seeing some coughing.
4 out of 4?
Nice.
Oof.
Wow. That's
4 in a row. Wow.
Well, it's a 1 in 4 chance of hitting
very
your 4
often.
of them. So. Wow.
Yeah, I'm a massive
Yeah, I think
fan of fangs.
the luck basically got that one.
So yeah, I'm a big fan of fangs
Waiting
and
for the
googly
snake.
eyes.
Yep.
That's one way to handle it. So the fangs and googly eyes, if you're doing a very 8 saying clear everything Magicant and Gigas, once you get towards the upper levels around 40, 50-ish, the Fang and Googly Eyes will turn into Evil Eye and Diamond Fang, which will diamondize enemies. And it will save you if you've got high level scaling or high curses and just simplify your life. At the lower levels like this, most you'll get is coughing or nauseous Fang. So, but the fact that it just does damage every turn like poison is super nice. It can save you unironically in some fights. Not often, but it can.
Yeah, I know that that's kind of broken to have those, but it's fun to be able to have a broken thing sometimes too. So I'm just it's gonna scale up that way.
Diamondizing dice is all I need as an incentive.
Yeah, it's fun to have that stuff once in a while. I made sure that the levels for that sort of thing were high enough that it's not gonna mess with a race percent seed, and it's yeah, have fun.
It's also a good late game investment, right? Because early on, the fangs and googly eyes have some applications, but they're not super broken. You got to make it all the way to the late 40s to have them fully go off. So some, especially for Jeff, who only gets not Jeff, but it's Drew and Paula, I think both only get one skill. So it could be a late game investment versus them having an option. So.
Yeah, but I think the other fangs are also pretty good. Poison is very good for a boss that's scaled past where you're supposed to be. That's not a real butterfly. Charcoal's noticed. Yeah, butterflies have a very specific movement pattern. If they're not using it, that's probably an enemy in butterfly form.
Uh-oh.
I got
And a lot
deja
of
vu
ropes
in the
on Brooke's
mind
side.
because Belch is the boss again.
Belch boss.
Uh-oh. And this is where like snake tag really gets cursed. Sometimes you just have to forge forward, and sometimes it's just not possible. Really good use of teleport though to fix that pretty bad spawn.
Yeah, it's very intentional that we have teleport anywhere enabled at the same time.
Yeah, I was playing this without teleport anywhere, and that's not fun.
Yeah, you gotta use those teleport dodges.
So what are the states that keep the snake from moving? I assuming it looks like being in the menus does it a little bit, and I assume being in fights as well. Is there anything else that stops the snake from chasing you?
Not a clue, honestly. It does not move during fights. It's just whenever the overworld loop is going, it's the same as enemies and NPCs.
It does move when you're R menuing, though. Something
same
we
as
get
enemies. It'll move during certain cutscenes too, which is pretty funny. Sometimes it can tag you mid cutscene, and then you'll get through the whole cutscene and then die, which is fine. It's fine.
Yeah, the biggest issue with that one is when you're going to the Cave of the Past, you might feel like you're locked up and you have to wait. You kind of have to wait for the snake to catch up and touch you to reset so that you can actually start again.
Yeah, I have no idea why that happens.
It's a white knuckle ride.
Yeah. Also, something I'd like to point out while Brooke is doing Mole Cave is keep an eye on the ducks if you see any more of them. The ducks have rolled a curse. If we can get past the snake, the ducks have rolled a curse.
The ducks are a UFO cosplaying as a duck.
UFO duck.
There's the duck. Not giving that duck any room to zoom around.
There, oh yeah, it's flying. It's flying like a sheep.
That movement pattern change on enemies is a really cool curse because you're used to just interacting with enemies in a certain way when you see a specific sprite, and that will totally hornswoggle you if you're not.
This shuffle overworld movement is not as severe, but is a lot more of it. It's a fun flag to do sometimes.
Yeah, vetting seeds for this has been fantastic because it's given me a lot of different views into how this can be played. You will find a flag set you like with this. I can almost guarantee it.
Oh yeah, and if you want a chance to see the different flags, we do a weekly. It's been like 4 years of it so far. So I always do race percent plus 1 or 2 other flags. I try to get all of them over time. There's a few that show up less often or more often, but you'll get a good sampling of all sorts of things if you join us on the weekly. Which is in the EarthBound Speedruns Discord, which you can find through PK Scramble's website or through the Speedrun community.
Yeah, Brooke benefiting a lot by still having Flying Man for the mines. ChargingCharles is taking a little bit longer on these boss fights.
Do you have a link to your Discord on the randomizer as well?
Yeah, it's in there somewhere. I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's in the About page.
All right. Yeah, I was like, all right, I might as well post it since we're talking about it because I have mod privileges, so I don't get struck down by the bot.
Yeah, it's the first link.
Yeah, that page. Tracks.
Okay. For any of those
I would paste it myself, but I've just been warned it'll be struck down.
Yeah, if you love EarthBound and you found any of this interesting, I would very much suggest giving it a try. It's a super fun rabbit hole to fall down.
Yeah, the speedrun community is also really nice. Very nice people, very welcoming, and also just running various events all year round.
I've learned a lot of things watching this. Did not even know there was a chest behind the hotel.
It's interesting
Yeah,
seeing
it was a
Brooke
very
drop an
small
IQ
one
capsule.
too.
I'm surprised that she dropped that IQ capsule. That's generally considered one of the better ones.
As opposed to just
Actually,
using it.
That's one I take personally.
Yeah.
It would be cool if like rock candies and capsules could be auto used from the R select, but I don't know how much of a mountain that is to make function either.
It's a whole thing. It's not as bad as some of the other things we've talked about doing, but there's no way to check from that kind of code what's going on with if an item is usable.
Okay, that makes sense. You give a mouse a cookie. Too many quality of life options will make people ask for.
Yeah,
so
I mean it would be a good
more.
feature, but it's just Also, the R button menu is like the last thing that is still using this ancient bad mod called EarthBound which has been deprecated for a long time. But I didn't know about it when I started. I didn't know it was deprecated when I started working on this.
Oh, Derek has mentioned the Boogie Percent too, which is like the standard EarthBound community. Boogie Percent is like the standard race category for that, but I think they have a champion or a tournament going
right now.
Or coming up.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, if I may, the tournament that was just mentioned is in its fourth and final week of Swiss.
Yeah, they try to
and
run
then
it
after that, we
mostly...
go into a double elimination bracket.
Yeah, they try to run Boogie Percent, so it's mostly coinciding with Halloween because it's like the Halloween area of the game. There's a lot of enemies on Chargle's side.
Chomp.
That foresight office proven to be a snake trap. Because that was like literally health runners. Chomp, chomp.
Yeah, so the snake's actual like home location is in Foreside, so you can get chain snaked there.
Yeah, Foresight ends up being like a
Propel DX.
Yeah.
The big.
Unfortunately,
the big
Repel DX does not repel the snake.
So,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, the snake's actually not coded as an enemy at all. It's closer to how Buzz works.
Yeah, so the big bait is like the Foresight department store and snake tag. Don't bother. And it's not going to help you. You're just going to get bit every time. I swear.
Oh no, Flying Man.
No,
This is very synced up right now.
Something to do. Salute for the bird.
Bye, bird.
Let's see. Chargles has done Magnet Hill, but I don't think that Brooke has done Giant Step. I don't think Chargles has done that yet.
That's
very even.
That's the downside with curses and Flying Man. Flying Man usually only dies to explosions and your vanilla flag set, since he usually sets them off on his own. But for curses, since you get that reflective physical shield a lot more frequently, he very often just kind of ends up chipping himself to death.
Those exploding cultists again.
I guess they believe in their faith very much.
Explosive belief.
Yep.
That's some commitment.
Somebody set them up the bomb.
Excuse me.
Now Brooke, the first runner to get Paula, and now followed by Charles.
Time to go back and get some revenge on Nightmare on top of Birdwin Park.
Is Brooke heading to the Sank? Oh yeah, heading to the Sank.
This play makes sense. You're right here. You might as well.
Yeah. I think we mentioned there's actually a really...
Brooke is in go mode, I think.
On the way... Oh wow, that was a really nice glitch on Trickle's side. And we have rainbow enemies. On the way out of this Sank, take a look at the teleport that Brooke does. It's very good.
Well, we have teleport anywhere on, so we might not get a chance to see it.
Oh, you're right. Never mind.
Ooh, a pizza drop.
Transform.
Huh.
I don't know if it's an intended thing, but sometimes the curse of the transforming enemies and multiple enemies on bosses is a really interesting interaction. I don't know.
Oh yeah. I know about that. There's no way I'm fixing it.
Yeah. So
well,
if the enemy, I'll let you explain it since you're the one behind
the game. When you kill a boss in EarthBound, it removes all other enemies, not just non-boss enemies. It removes all other enemies. It's not when the last boss is defeated. It's when any boss is, because EarthBound only needs that. So when I doubled the bosses, I found that, well, you beat one and then it gets rid of the other one. And short of going in and adding extra code to the game to like check that, do what you'd expect, there's nothing I can do. So I just made it so that the doubled bosses also remove the flag that makes it so that the boss clears out the other enemies at the same time, which means if the boss has helpers or calls for help, and it's a double boss, you still have to get rid of them. And if it's a boss that turns into another boss, if the second one is also a doubled boss, it will not get rid of the other ones, but if it isn't, then it still has a flag that gets rid of everything and it kills everything. I don't know. EarthBound's a spaghetti game.
It's a very interesting thing that you like have to learn to take advantage of if you're going to play in higher level caps or curse, because it ends up becoming more and more frequent with a higher curse level. Because sometimes they transform into an easier boss, and then other times it just goes from bad to worse.
Egg.
Yeah, so that was one thing I was kind of hoping for in my run with the insert generated bosses. Because one time in one of the runs, I think we had noticed that if you happen to have an exploding type enemy as the Gygas assistant, you would just win, and you wouldn't have to go through phases 2 and 3.
I assume I fixed that at some point. Maybe I didn't.
Actually,
did we? I thought you said you said that was okay. I can't remember now.
Me neither. It's been a long time. I've been trying to do a little less time spent on Scramble, because when I first did it, I kind of spent an entire year scrambling, and probably need to do things a little more productive than improving the rando.
Yeah. Honestly, dude, talking about Gigas
we
as
appreciate
assistant,
it.
not everyone... Oh yeah, the randomizer is fantastic. But speaking of Gigas as his assistant, there's actually another interesting interaction. I'm not sure if this is correct or not, but if you have like Diamond Fang or Evil Eye, you can Diamond Eyes a lot of Gigas as assistants,
yeah.
and as far as I can tell, it's a soft lock until you forfeit and come back. So
don't do that. I tried to make it so that the basic flags for Scramble are like really buttoned up and like polished. So if you're playing on like race defaults or something, there are few things that are like out of the ordinary. Most of the NPCs even talk about the right plot state. I mean, there's places where I missed it, but generally it's pretty. Paula learned how to swing her tail. Generally it's pretty stable, and then the more other flags you add, the less it matters. Some of the flags in particular, like Snake Tag or Moon Mode, it's like, yeah, these are going to be goofy. Moon mode, I accidentally left a debug feature in on. So every person you talk to in Moon mode has a number after what they say for debug reasons, and people liked that. I just left it in because it's like, yeah, it's kind of handy to have that number. I don't need to remove that.
Yeah, if anything, I'd say it's a good like balancing feature if you really want to go that far, because it does make Diamond Fang and Evil Eye a little bit less overpowering, especially if you're doing like Gigas required. At the very least, you have to take at least one fight seriously.
Yeah,
just diamondizing everything.
I think if you use it on Gygas' second phase, that it just wins though. And if you use it on later phases, it might break.
I'll have to try that in the future because I've been doing it the hard way.
Yeah, but I mean, why would you skip out on Cursed Gygas? That's one of the best features.
Yeah, you're not going to convince me of that.
That's a wonderful feature. I had such a
Two
good time.
more prayers, Spanky.
I think I sprung
Spanky,
that on the
spanky,
runners
spanky.
without telling them to. Gurk, do you remember how I added Gygas prayers? I thought it was a special event, but I can't really remember.
No, I don't remember. I mean, I know it's a thing that can happen with curses, but yeah, I mean, it might have just been as a because you tried out. Hey, I got these runs with curses. It was the introduction of curses that we got to see them. It's been too long.
Yeah, same here.
Cool. They will catch you off guard the first time you run into them.
Well, hopefully both of our runners go towards Gygas. Gygas is optional these days, and I did not have any ideas or time to do something to the Magic Amp boss to do the same thing, so...
Oh, Snake almost got us.
Oof. Wow, that was really gutsy, going for the
Yeah,
R menu.
R button menuing next to a snake.
I'm impressed. Absolutely.
It's a smashing mole.
Yeah, so you'll notice the sneeze fire doesn't trigger any sort of even though it's obviously physical, but that's a really nice thing. I think like
the mole was actually Everdread all along. That's so Everdread.
Everdread in a moleskin suit.
Yeah. Oh no, Hawkeye from Berglund Park.
Oh my goodness.
I guess we're going swamping today. Yeah, that particular curse that Blossom was talking about is pretty interesting, where they can unclasp the pendants. Fortunately, if you're willing to spend a turn in the menu, you can just put them back on. Especially with like generated gear, pendants are extremely important because they can go from a lot of things.
I think it's even more important in base game where they're guaranteed to be like the only important defensive item.
Yeah, I guess that's fair because like once you hit Earth and higher, it's pretty much the only thing you want to have, unless you have a rabbit's foot somehow. The speed is another thing that has been getting picked up quite a bit with these skills, because these skills also give a stat, two choices of a stat each time you level up, or during certain skill check levels. And
yeah, it's interesting. I haven't noticed that, like, whenever the meta changed to it's picking speed more often, but I saw speed over IQ at one point, which is unexpected.
Speed over IQ is like, in practice good, because you get to just go first, but you do run out of gasoline sometimes, and it really like puts you in a place where you're like, well, I did this to myself.
And you do get more speed than it gives you IQ, generally. It is balanced that way.
So
Chargles appears to be... it's just saying Chargles, I think it must be decided there's no chance he's doing the main boss and is looking for 5 Sanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Snake's going to his home.
People need me. Well, at least we'll get to see Cursed Gygus, which is always a treat.
Yeah, this is where we'll have the point where Brooke's game will look like it's locked up for a second, I think.
I didn't realize
So
I
what I
was
was
so
gonna ask-
consistent. Oops.
You said Vitality gives like 15 HP per additional point.
Yeah.
Is IQ a 1-for-1, or is it higher than that?
It's 5 PP per IQ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Brooke is stuck until the
That's good.
snake comes and tags her again.
Really good soft lock prevention. Should just add that to every game.
Yeah, it's also funny that I noticed that during the robot transforming, the snake just passed right in between all 4 party members, like perfect straight line.
Yeah.
Spoilers, you're not actually here.
Yeah.
Ooh,
the snake's
UFO
going
engine and
towards your
hieroglyph
actual-
copy.
Huh. That is all the way towards Deep Darkness, because they had the Hawkeye. So
I want to say that.
Chargles is going for it. I think he's just decided to meme it up and go for as many Sanks as possible.
And if Cursed Gygus is
Yeah,
mean,
that
it
is
could be a
vintage.
problem.
Girls, everybody.
Oh, we also have to guess the Gygus assistant. Have we seen Kraken?
I don't believe
I
so.
mean, we technically did for a little bit.
Yeah, we
then
did,
it'll
I
be
think.
Kraken. Okay, I'm guessing
I'm
Kraken.
guessing
The other ones.
Starman Jr. Starman Deluxe, excuse me.
Vanilla.
Don't lick the Gygus assistant. Kraken was Frank.
Oh,
got some gross
it was
things.
Master Belch all along. Master Barf, excuse me.
Well, I mean, technically Master Barf, so, here, have a couple of burp emotes in chat. Because it's Twitch, there are such emotes, let's be real.
I'm going for the Poison Fangs.
Yeah,
I like
'cause
that.
I think Master
Here.
doesn't have a single targeting move right here, so might as well.
Yeah, it does add up pretty quickly. You
Especially
don't want to be in a
because-
fight long enough that it does add up, but
Oh, he's
you know.
resistant to freeze.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because you only have 3 party members, and Jeff doesn't have an explode, top tier rocket or bomb.
Oh no,
Accidentally hit Jeff
Yes.
or Gygus.
pretty low.
There we go.
Kind of low, I guess.
All right, we're on to Gygus Phase 2. So just kind of due to how Gygus works, there's fewer curses that apply, but Phase 2 is very likely to take one of the... So Gygus has, or all enemies have 4 move slots. Gygus has 3 that are, you can't comprehend the form of Gygus' attacks, and they're actually just different attacks, and 1 empty slot, and curses know to
Ooh.
remove an empty slot and replace it with something mean.
Oh,
Oof.
speaking of me, that is a psychic
Yeah.
power shield on Gygus Phase 2. I have never seen that before. Holy
Lucky.
smokes.
Yeah,
Lucky you.
That's pretty frequent. I hate to break it to you.
When you add 10
I
curses,
must have
you
been
always
lucky,
get a
but
shield.
honestly, I think
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that's never happened before.
Wow, very late meme for Chargles too.
Honestly,
I
I
done
find
messed
that
up.
if you have access to Neutralizer, it is going to be your best friend in a curse seed.
It looks like
Because-
Chargles was not digging for Sanks and just messed up.
There's,
It might be indicating
Turtles,
that
Turtles did have to
thought he
play
would
2
find
seeds back to back, so there might be a
Yeah.
bit of a bleed here as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it could
That's
it
still-
could also
Yeah.
be just that thought it would find some and then didn't.
Yeah.
It-
So this is still anyone's race because any Gygus wipe just resets the board. We're on to phase 3. There might be something
Mhm.
special here. Keep an eye on
the
Brooke's
curses
Gygus
here-
fight.
can be very back-breaking depending on how they roll out.
Peanut cheese bar. Ooh. Okay. She's fine.
Did Paula have some damage rolling still?
Yep, but stop at 28.
Not much. Be definitely
Chargles
worth it
is-
to use life up here.
Oh, it'll be
no.
fine, Chargles. Don't worry about it.
Chargles is getting stuck. He didn't know.
Snakes. Snake save. Snake save.
He looks very upset about it. Don't worry. It happened to Brooke
Now,
too.
that's one of those things you never think you'll have to mention. That's a never happened before. I go soft launch until the snake saved me.
Was it another reflect roll?
Oh, nice. Got a green swirl there, so we can at least flee first turn.
The talking rock.
Talking rock. Don't forget to talk to the rock.
It's important.
We didn't get to the talking rock in any of the 3 seeds today, did we?
It's the rarest
No, we
area
didn't.
to end up.
Honestly,
Ness's friends
like,
prayed for
luckily-
Ness and his other friends. Oh,
Is that
who's
a real
this?
butterfly or a cursed one?
The valley is
Sewage.
not too
Well, how appropriate.
terrible.
Oh, that could be worse.
Teleport everywhere, honestly.
Yeah, so
Triple nausea.
the curse logic doesn't actually have much that it could do to Gygus in phase 3. So I added a whole bunch of extra special curses just for Gygus where
Oh
he got the
no,
wrong-
this
that
is
one's
really
those are
mean
two
now.
curses. Yeah,
That's a really bad combo.
Okay.
This
salvageable.
curse
Bola is
right
not
here,
linear.
this curse right here made me 100% confident. Spore is the most unbalanced status effect in any fucking game. I couldn't. This is so awful.
The maximization is so bad and so unbalanced. It
Oh,
is
it's
literally one of the worst things that I've seen in any game.
It's only a 25% chance. It's fine.
Oh, is Brooke
This is
passing?
Friends
My
Maybe it's
luck, it
friends.
goes off at the wrong time, though.
Should be fine.
The only
Prayer
reason
just
it's like
repeat?
not as bad. Looks like we're getting close to
No,
time.
it was
here.
similar. Yeah, we're almost done. Looks like Brooke's our
But the-
champion.
The
Unless the
GLC.
snake shows up midway through the cutscene, and
We'll have to have another one after the next
Boom.
tournament. We'll just keep doing it.
GG.
oh,
the-
good luck
the snake-
designing your 5-person bracket.
The snake does show up in
we'll figure it out.
the credits.
Yeah.
He doesn't hurt you, but he does show up.
You wouldn't
I
want
mean,
to see
honestly,
that.
we could do another neat one and then have like a pools that we do off stream, and then that determines on who gets to buy,
That would work.
something like that.
All right. Well, Brooke is well on the way to winning. We just have to wait for that U1. Not really any
Yeah.
chance of losing at this point. So get your GGs
It's a
ready.
fairly long one, yeah. You just gotta wait for that final U win after. I love that
Yeah.
the thing with race seeds too is you never, ever, ever get the dad call at 2 hours. It's borderline impossible.
Oh yeah, something's going wrong if you get it. So this cutscene here is actually so long.
That usually
that,
happens in Ancient Cave.
This cutscene is actually so long that on the first, like when this first came out, someone during a tournament match did all of Magicant and the Magicant boss during the static, and then won.
Was I on commentary for that? Because I feel like I was around for
Might have been,
that. And so,
Yeah, I think that was that was a Daniel RGT if I remember right.
That sounds plausible.
It's time for Brooke. Yep.
All right, I brought you into the room, Brooke. Congratulations.
Thank you.
GG, bro.
GG. Solid play.
Thanks.
Both seasons.
Yeah, that guy, I guess, was kind of cool. Like, it was a little bit scary, but I think I prepared pretty well for it.
What did you do for preparation? It was also smooth. I didn't know what was like out of the way.
Mostly just all of the Horns of Life. Like, I was looking for pendants, but there weren't any in the shop, so I just bought a big stack of them. I think I got like
makes sense.
8.
Yeah, but I came to that same realization too when I was vetting things as somebody learning. Horns of Life you're going to be your saving grace as long as you have enough cash. You can always get in a Saturn shop, I believe.
I think I actually only ended up using like 1 or 2 of them, but it's just really nice to have the safety net.
Yeah. That was a good pair of extra Gygus curses too. Like they're both, you know, quite handleable, but still mean.
Yeah, not true.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think the sewage one was that bad, but then the spore bomb was pretty scary because it just
having them
can make the life ups just not work.
Yeah, having them in exactly like one after the other is unlikely and quite unfortunate too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, the spore bomb, at the very least, like your prayers can't get messed up. But if you have to recover anything on Paula, it's just like, well, time to roll the dice.
Yeah. Yeah, Ness can't even like heal himself reliably, and nothing cures it. So just kind of have to hope.
Looks like Chargles had an unfortunate time, ready to tap out.
Yeah.
Chargles, you should have joined us in the room if I pressed the right buttons. I'm not sure.
It's okay.
There it is. Okay.
I'm here now. Yeah, I forgot about that third sink, and then I knew I was behind, so I didn't really gear up for Gygus at all. I just plowed through, and I made a mistake.
It's a fair gamble when you know you're behind.
We thought maybe you were trying to find 5th and 6th as well.
That probably would have been better. I was assuming like a Cherokee would come along for Sank 3. And I forgot all about Sank 3 was there the whole time. The real Sank 3 was inside of us the whole time. No, otherwise, I don't know if it was a rough start necessarily. I had a couple sniffs like early on with Berglund Park Hut that didn't work out. I don't know how Brooke went with Curse 2, but generally things were approachable.
Yeah, I don't think it was that bad. Did I take a death somewhere? I don't know. I mean, that's pretty normal.
Yeah, I think you got by the something right away.
There's also a snake, so you're gonna have a lot of deaths.
Oh, the snake that got me in Liar's Hut, that ticked me off. I don't know the last time I didn't get the little liar skips there. But to get got immediately was brutal.
Brooke actually had trouble doing the skip too, and just talked to Liar and went through because the snake was on her tail.
Yeah, I thought I could make it. I knew the snake was close, but I can't remember the last time I failed that skip.
I gotta say, from like a casual watching y'all bait the snake and do moving around them, if you ever play this yourself, you'll understand. You'll get chomped like a good 50 times. Seeing as few chomps as we did is really impressive.
And a few of them are intentional with the full clear. Yeah. Before, when JTolmar didn't have the easy death flag, Snake Tag was far more punishing.
Yeah, easy deaths really helps this one.
Definitely streams like the process, so you don't have to warp somewhere and then revive everybody and then take an in. It's very nice. Played with like saved off once and never again. I guess we're getting.
Oh, well, good job, Brooke. You are the champ of champs. It's really Lantro's fault for not eliminating Brooke when he had the chance.
My bad.
Yeah, this was great. Hopefully, we can do this again in the future. Maybe after next.
In 4 more years, we'll have 8 more champs, or 4 new champs.
I'm sure we can figure out something with 5 people and just give like do like a pools and give somebody buy. That way, you guys will actually have a little bit of agency. Maybe, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I think Brooke has earned the right to a buy.
Probably. Maybe that's the way we should do it. The new champ has to go to brackets. Brooke gets the buy. It makes sense.
Unfortunately, with 5 people, you have more than one buy. It's 2 people in a runoff.
All right.
I think the way I would be. Go ahead.
I'm going to wrap us up, so if you had one last thought, give us one last thought.
You should play PK Scramble. It's really good.
Definitely play this game. Definitely play this randomizer. It's a lot of fun. Community's
I guess
great.
real quick,
Community's awesome.
for my end, the only really thing is next week we were going to have Golden Sun Lost Ages. Apparently, unfortunately, it didn't work out with Bowie. For those that were looking forward to it, we are going to try and schedule that sometime next year, hopefully. For now, it's going to be off with Kyoshi Cadre, Fresh Files podcast the next weekend on Final Fantasy Tick, or the new release if you're familiar with that, with Ice Blood Series this early. And then Cell's show for the Halloween on October 26th will be Custom Quest 2 with Echo Tree. And then after that, the next week is the SMT Persona Marathon. So we get some time off. Once again, thank the PK Scramble community for everything. You guys did a ton of work vetting seeds, setting up the brackets, getting everybody in communication, and adding threads, all that stuff. Thanks, Ashen, for figuring out how to make all this work. And I saw the work. Thanks to the vetters. I've named everybody twice so far. So if you don't remember those names, there's a couple of places that they're in there, but you all know who you are. Thank you for the work. It has made this one of the coolest things I think we've put on the air. And back to you, Ashen.
All right. Well, thank you all who have been watching us. Please check out the EarthBound and the PK Scramble communities on Discord. Check out RPG Limit Break on Discord if you haven't. We'd love to have you come join us over there as well. And I believe that's everything. I don't think I have anything else to say. Yeah, that's the end of the thoughts. So, goodbye, y'all. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again next week.